Hello and welcome to day 2 of the British Swimming Championships here in beautiful Glasgow. Now this week we are seeing the best of British battle it out for that elusive title of British champion. But we're also seeing them race for those qualification times for the World Championships in South Korea. Loads of action and it all starts right here. Welcome to Deep End Live. Good evening and welcome to Deep End Live, the brand new show from British Swimming across all disciplines, bringing you up close and personal to not only the action around the UK, but of course getting you up close to those athletes that you love. My name's John Mason, I'm the host for the entire week, and this week we've come up to the British Swimming Championships 2019 here in Glasgow. What a week it is shaping up to be. Last night saw an incredible night of action here at Tollcross. As you can see up here, we've got our best of British. These were all of our brand new British champions as of last night. And also, we had a couple of those athletes make it underneath that qualification time, and consideration time, that's the one I was looking for the World Championships in South Korea later on this year. On top of that, we had a whole lot of fun as well. You can see our speedboat challenge, all that sort of jazz, more on that later. And we all did it right here in our brand new studio. Joining me once again, James Goddard, Rebecca Adlington, our swimming experts in the know. Thanks for coming down, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, it's brilliant to have you back, James.
Day 2, so excited, ready to go. Can't wait.
Yes, it's going to be brilliant stuff. But before we get to that, I do need to announce something. We had a competition last night that went out online, and we now have our winner. It has come in last night. Caroline Meldrum, all right, sent in the best photo in our duck challenge last night. She has won herself. There's the photo. Very creative, very inventive. I love that. It's quite impressive. You've won yourself a pair of tickets to the European Short Course Championships here in Glasgow in December, so congratulations to Caroline. Now, enough of that. It's back to the action. So, guys, last night, day 1, incredible way to start the week. Becky, let's start with the first race. Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah Vasey not only taking British champion last night, but doing it in such style. I mean, she was 0.7 ahead of the rest of the field. With it not being an Olympic event, there was no consideration time for Worlds. So she'll be back in the pool this weekend for the 100 metres breaststroke, hoping to qualify for Worlds.
Yeah, after that we saw Tom Howdle win the 50 metres backstroke, one of my swimming teammates from Stockport Metro, so I was very, very proud to see Tom win. He's had a fantastic 6 months, actually. Won the British Short Course Championships in the 100 metres backstroke, smashing his personal best time. British champion for the first time last night. That should give him loads and loads of confidence into the future. If we can get that 100 metres backstroke right, great chance of Olympic medals in that relay for sure.
Yeah, we followed up obviously with the women's 200-metre freestyle, one of my old events, and it was just incredible to see Holly Hibbert and Freya Anderson battling it out, but Freya just touching Holly out there to claim British champion, and a really solid time for her as well. It was off the mark for Worlds, but at the same time, it wasn't her favoured event. She has got the 100 metres freestyle later on in the week, and it was still only just 0.1 off her PB anyway, so it's still a really good swim, and she is one of our younger athletes on the team. She's not a junior, but she's certainly not one of the veterans anymore, so she's definitely one to watch out for Tokyo next year.
Yeah, certainly lots of exciting stuff to start the night. We then moved on. It was Dan Jervis one of my favorite performances of the night, and he was such a lovely guy. I mean, James, you and I absolutely adored him when he came to the studio.
I mean, throughout the whole day, he was my favorite athlete throughout the whole day. I mean, just because of the heats from as well, he smashed the heats. He went 3:49 in the heats, very personal best time, killed it in the heats, blew everybody else away. I thought he might have spent a little bit too much energy. I thought, why don't he just relax down that last 100 meters in the heat so he got a little bit. But he smashed the final as well, 3:47, another 2-second personal best time. And when he sat down and talked to us here, he was so humble. He talks about having this great relationship with his coach and his teammates, which I thought was so great, because I can relate to that as well. I could not have done anything without my teammates. And the humbleness that he showed and the focus that he's got as well. He missed out just on the Olympics for Rio, and he said that he's not going to miss it next time.
Yeah, he was determined with that one. And then Amy, of course, I mean, it was the battle. Amy, Hannah, they're sort of staples on the British senior team back in the pool for the 400 IM.
Yeah, one of the most brutal events in the programme, but Amy certainly delivered. Getting that consideration time for Worlds, I was so, so pleased for her. I'm pretty sure she'll be on that team, but another really solid swim for her. It's one of those that you're just trying to get on that Worlds team, trying to progress. She has her sights set on Tokyo next year. She's had a bit of kind of funding issues and stuff, so Amy's had it really tough, and actually she's one of those athletes that always stays positive. I loved her interview with you guys. It was just so lovely to see her smiling and happy. She's a tiny bit tired. She openly admitted it hurt, as a 400 IM does, but for her, she's got plenty more racing this week as well. She's got about 6 other races.
And of course, finishing last night, a high point of the night, certainly the men's breaststroke. Adam Peaty taking the title again.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say that hasn't been said about this young man? 57.8, not bad. I mean, it's rapid. 2 seconds under the qualification time. 2 seconds. That is insane. So actually, he's the only person to have got the first place qualification time. So he's guaranteed on a seat on that plane to South Korea. So that's what he'll have wanted to do. Come here, get that qualification time, book his place. And Adam's a big game swimmer, isn't he? He's a big time swimmer. At that major competition, he steps it up another level, and I'm sure in the summer we'll see some special stuff.
I'm certainly looking forward to that, and of course, more action tonight. He's back in the pool this evening. But before we get into any of that, we of course need to hear from our sponsors. So let's take a look at what they've got to say.
The latest in tech suit innovation. Frictionless fiber construction. Surface lift technology. Endo compression cage. Seamless exo shell. Tier Benzo. Battleborn.
Yeah, we are back here in Tollcross, ladies and gentlemen, and I've come up into the stands to meet some of our fans. We've got some very, very big swimming fans here, which we absolutely love. So, girls, what are your names?
Marissa.
Marissa, I love your lipstick, Marissa. It's very pretty. And what about you?
Amber.
Marissa and Amber and?
Simon.
Simon, or Dad, better known as Dad. So, girls, you're both swimmers, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. And what's your favorite stroke?
Breaststroke.
Breaststroke. So you obviously fans of we've got Mr. Adam Peaty in tonight, but who's your favorite swimmer?
Amy Wilmot.
Amy Wilmot. What about you?
Amy Wilmot.
Yes, she won last night. You were in to see that. It was very exciting, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm going to get you to help me out here because I obviously need some helpers, okay? So we're running a little competition. As you came in, if you're in venue, you got yourself a raffle ticket, a little duck. We're now going to draw the number out of this. Now, whoever gets the number that has the number with the duck with the number on it, oh, I'm struggling tonight, it's hot. They're going to win themselves a nice little prize. So do you want to help me?
Yes.
Beautiful. So put your hand in that, pull out a duck, and you tell me what number is on that one.
132.
132. So stand up and give me a wave if you're in the building and you've got duck number 132. Who in here's got number 132? Check your ducks. You know what? It's an awesome prize. So if you're not here to claim it, I'm going to keep it. That's not true. Oh, they're over the other side. No? I can't run that. They're having me on. They're having me on. Well, you know what? We're going to check out who's got that one. We've got a great prize. I'm going to show you what it is. You've got a brand new tier bag. Congratulations to you. And a Great Britain kickboard. Not bad. I could have that. Go to the front desk and claim your prize, number 135. Now, I caught up with James Guy yesterday. He's in the pool tonight swimming. First time we're seeing him this week. So let's take a look at what he had to say. All right. A very hairy James Guy,
yes.
back at another British Championships, mate. How you feeling?
No, I feel good, man. I feel good to be here. It's the first British Champs I've had in 2 years. As you can see, I'm a bit more of a man now with this thing here. But no, it's a nice week this week, so I'm looking forward to racing again. Yeah, good to be here.
I mean, you're sort of, very experienced when it comes to these things. It's a big year. It's another World Trials, of course. Do you approach these sort of competitions differently now than you used to?
Not really, no. The way I attack these races, definitely not. But as I've been doing these now since I was 15, it's this is my 8th one now, so it's mad to think that. But no, kind of still go into the race with the same mindset, attack it properly, and try and get a good result. Yeah.
And I know you've been away. You were down in Australia for quite a while.
Yeah.
Very jealous. How was your training camp down there and stuff?
It's probably one of the best camps I've been on. When we go to Australia, it's all about kind of being really intense with each other, having a great camp, no moaning, no wimping out of the sessions. And that kind of vibe we get is fantastic. Everyone's on a good way of training. Everyone's training really hard together. And it's just a good group of guys out there as well. So, no, it's really good vibes out there.
And I mean, you're looking in good shape coming into this week as well. You're feeling confident. We got Tokyo next year.
I know.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. So, things coming around pretty quickly. I was probably a bit big in December. I was sat at like 92 kilograms and I thought, I've got to change now. So the camps we had in January and February time, I thought I've got to be strict with myself, be the best athlete I can be and not snack, no chocolate, no sweets. And I'm in a good place now. I've lost weight. I feel strong. I feel happy with myself and ready to race fast.
Oh, mate, we can't wait to see it. It's going to be awesome.
Let's hope
Now,
so.
I know you're having a competition in the pool. We're having our own little competition here.
Okay.
You heard of top trumps?
Yes.
All right, we are doing top trunks. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, you just got to rate yourself. Your start, your underwater, your speed, your strength, your endurance, and your technique.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a look at yourself. All right.
Okay.
Be honest.
All right, I'll be honest then.
Out of 100, where do you think you stand with your start?
Okay, start, I'm thinking it's pretty good. I'm going to say, but it could be improved on, 85, I reckon.
85.
85,
good.
that's pretty tasty. Underwater, that's pretty crap, to be honest with you.
At least he's honest.
I'm being honest with you, and that needs work. I think if that was as good as some of the others, I'd be a lot faster. So we're going to say 50 there.
Okay.
Speed, we're going to go 85, 90, I think.
Yep.
We'll go 90 with that one.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's
Strength.
pretty quick.
Strength, I'm pretty strong.
Yeah.
Very strong.
You're looking strong. 100.
Very
100.
strong. We'll go for 100. Endurance could always be improved. Let's go for, I reckon 80 right now. Right now, 80.
Yeah.
And technique, it's the best in the world. We're going to go with 100.
I love this. Look at that. There you go. James Guy's top chunks. You got that?
Boom.
Pretty honest, and I think pretty accurate, to be fair.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I think there's always room for improvement on most things, but I think generally my weakest points are the start and the underwaters. And if they were the best in the world, then I'd be going a lot faster. So
Well, mate, you're
and
going
we can
pretty
see
quick
that.
now. I can't wait to see you racing this week anyway. Thanks
Cool.
for joining us.
Thanks, pal.
We'll see you in
Thank you
studio.
very much. Cheers.
Yeah. They have a little catch-up with James Guy in the pool tonight for his first final. I'm pretty excited to see what he does. But more on that in a bit. Let's take a look at the entire schedule and see what you've got to look forward to tonight. So, we are starting with the women's 800-meter freestyle fastest heat. We then move on to the men's 50-meter breaststroke, the women's 50-meter fly, the men's 200-meter butterfly, the women's 100-meter backstroke, the men's 100-meter backstroke, and the women's 200-meter breaststroke will be closing out the evening. For those in the venue, the pool is now closed. Right, Becky, James, another night of action ahead. What have we got to look forward to? Who should we be keeping our eyes out for? And what are you most excited for? Becky, let's go to you first.
I'm excited. There's something different in each of the races, and that's what's amazing. Obviously, you've got Adam Peaty. It'll be interesting to see what James Guy does, but one I'm looking forward to, which you would have probably said, is the men's 100 backstroke, just because me and Bob have been talking about this week that for that 4x100 medley relay out at the World Championships, out at the Olympics, it's such a crucial thing for that. Now that Chris Walker-Hebben's retired, it's kind of like seeing who's going to emerge on the scene and break through, and Luke Greenbank this morning looked so smooth, so in control, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I've just got to back that up, actually, because if we can get a guy going 53 low, that's like Olympic gold, maybe, for that relay?
It's up there. It's up there, certainly world gold.
It's right up there. It's certainly a medal, so massive incentive for those 100 backstroke boys to try and get down. Luke went 54.1, very solid for a heat swim. If we can get him down to that 53 low, or anybody else, if they can challenge as well, that'd be amazing. For me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing James Guy. He's one of my favourite swimmers, actually, in the Tuna Fly with Duncan Scott, actually. Both of those boys are actually freestylers by trade, but they're obviously amazing butterfly swimmers as well. But I just love the way James Guy swims. He just looks so big and strong and powerful. And he just floats and glides across the pool. And it's amazing.
Don't rule out Jacob Peters, though. He looked really good this morning through that heat. He's ranked #1 going into tonight's final, so don't rule him out. It's going to be a fight.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that one. Really, really excited. It's going to be a race. Of course, moving over to the women's program as well. Becky, your old event is up first.
I know, it's always gets a bit nostalgic, doesn't it? But it's one of those that I always go, I'm so glad I'm not doing that. I do think that. Over to these girls to do it now. But it's one of those that we kind of get to know some of the juniors this morning through the heats. Now that Jazz Carlin has obviously retired, we're kind of lacking somebody from that distance event. We had Holly Hibbert a couple of years ago, but obviously she's decided to not swim it now. She's concentrating on that 200 and 400, rightly so. So the spots are open now, and it would be nice to get to know some of the juniors ahead of next year for Tokyo.
Absolutely, and looking at that sort of fastest heat tonight as well, I'm really excited to see how they develop over the coming years. It's going to be an interesting one. We then have women's 200-meter breaststroke finishing up the night with that one. What are your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Molly Renshaw's. I mean, I really want to see. I watched Jocelyn Elliott break the British record 2 years ago in Sheffield, and it was out of nowhere. Like, I didn't expect it, I don't think. Maybe just Jocelyn and her coach expected it. And she went 2:22.0. If she can get that PB again or get anywhere near it, she'll get that first place qualification time and guarantee her place on that plane, which would be amazing. I'd love to see her come down again and replicate that. Molly Renshaw's maybe the favourite, though.
We have to also mention Adam Peaty.
Oh,
We've kind of brushed over
forgot
the fact
that one.
Adam
Yes,
Peaty's racing. And I mean, Adam had a fantastic swim yesterday. He looked so quick, so in control. He had a fantastic start this morning. And actually, I don't think we give Adam and Mel enough credit for how much they've worked on his start and how much they've improved. It was just unbelievable this morning. So we could see something special tonight. Yeah,
I'm really, really looking forward to it. And it's the last time we're going to see him in the pool as well, so I think we better enjoy it.
Not ever.
Not
just
ever,
this week.
just for this week, of course, Becky. But yeah, so as we said, loads to look forward to this evening. But we would love to hear from you as well, so make sure you get putting those photos out, getting those tweets, those Instagram posts, all that sort of stuff. The hashtag for the entire event is hashtag BSC19, and of course, hashtag DeepEndLive. Now, it's time to hear from one of our sponsors. Let's take a look at what they've got to say.
The latest in tech suit innovation. Frictionless fiber construction. Surface lift technology. compression cage. Seamless exo shell. Tier Benzo. Battleborn.
Well, there you go. A big thank you to all of our sponsors, of course. Now, we've got a very special guest who's joining Becky and James and I in the studio. She's a lady who is very well known for, I guess, the first event we're going to see tonight, the 800 meters. Silver medal in that event in Rio. Ladies and gentlemen, Jazz Carlin.
Oh. It's a bit weird. It's really strange being here and not actually being in the water.
Yeah? Are you enjoying that, though?
When I first walked in, I kind of had that split second of a feeling thinking I would love to be in there, and then I went straight back to I'm okay watching from the sidelines.
Yeah, it's weird because chatting with Becky, she didn't really like racing, and you're so happy that you don't have to race anymore. Are you kind of like that as well? Are you happy that you're not racing anymore?
No, see, I always loved the race, and that was the one that I always loved the most. I couldn't wait to get in there, and I quite liked the environment, the pressure, the nerves, whereas Becky obviously didn't.
Yeah, and what about the training? Because Becky loves the training, which I wasn't a massive fan of. I've got to say, I love the racing too.
Definitely loved the training.
Do you like
Of
the training?
course you did. You definitely did.
I think a mixture. Obviously, it is tough being a distance swimmer. You have to do a lot of training. So most days I would enjoy, but some days are a hard slog up and down that pool. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that. Getting up early in the morning, going up and down when you're tired. It is a really tough sport, but it's amazing when we get here and we get to see all these incredible athletes racing and challenging themselves and seeing how they can get on. So yeah, I'm loving being back.
Oh, it's brilliant to have you here. We're so happy you're in the studio with us, darling. Now I know, let's just take it back to you. Of course, last year, finishing up racing, retiring, big changes happening after a stellar career. You're obviously there in Rio. What's that been like? Big changes.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe, really. I think as an athlete, we get to know our diary day in, day out. We know where we've got to be Monday to Saturday with the training, physio, everything. And then after stepping away, and I've actually got to be in charge of what my own diary looks like, and I'm like, oh, coach, can you still send me my weekly plan? But no, I really do miss, obviously, the friends you make, but it's great because I get to see them here. But it's really nice to do it on the other side and to see all the other athletes swimming well. I've been working with Swim Wales, some of the other athletes, so to see them racing here, I've got goosebumps. Like, it's really nice seeing them on their journey.
Yeah,
Well, me and Jimmy always say who would now win in a race. Like, I reckon you're still pretty quick. I mean, I see on your social media you are seriously fit. You go to the gym a lot, you do loads of running. What time do you reckon you'd do if you got in now?
Like an 800?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't think anyone needs to see that right now.
I reckon you'd still swim quick. I think you'd surprise yourself.
I'm not sure it would be painful. 800 hurts a lot anyway, but not training and doing an 800, I just think would sting. It would hurt a lot.
That's like my worst nightmare. 800 is like literally my worst nightmare. Distance
wouldn't make
freestyle,
it.
I don't know how you guys did it. I mean, some of the training sets that I saw you guys do was just like, I felt like crying for you in those training sets. It really made me feel sad. We've got the 800 tonight. Any tips for the girls, tactics-wise? How would you girls do? Did you swim it differently?
I don't know. How did you swim it? We've never had this chat.
It's different. Like, I think you've obviously got to lock into that pace and know your pace, because if you start out too fast, you're obviously going to not be able to hold on to that pace. But then if you start too slow, you've got a bit too much at the end. So it's about knowing that pace, knowing that you can kind of carry it on, but also knowing you've got to have a bit of a sprint at the end in case you need it.
Yeah, I always broke it down like 200, 400, 200. Just like mentally, because the first 200 you had to be smooth, the middle 400 you just want to get through and get done, and then the last 200 you're like, okay, nearly there, just where's the wall? That's how I treated it.
This is fascinating. I'd never even thought of this, obviously, the way you guys swim it differently and stuff. But Jazz, you're now entering racing. I've seen on your social media, running 10Ks and stuff. Didn't you do like a half triathlon or something?
I've actually got a triathlon coming up in just over 2 weeks. I'm not the most prepared I've ever been. So I'm actually quite nervous, but also just looking forward to it. I haven't got a bike yet, so that's also interesting. But you know, I can make it through it. I can make it through it somehow.
I now imagine you on one of those like city bikes, you know, that you rent for the day. Like a picture of you just going through.
My daughter's got a bike, if you want to borrow it, you know, the little bell on it.
I love that. But look, I can't wait to see how you're doing that. But before we get to that, we're going to have our own competition. As you can see up here, the Speedboat Challenge. all right, we're about to throw you into it.
It feels a bit like Top Gear, you know, on
Yes.
the leaderboards.
That's
you know?
what we were going
Yeah.
for. So come on. I mean, we've had Craig's way out in front, Craig McLean. He got 9.63 seconds. Then Jimmy. Becky did it earlier today. She did not finish. It was a DNF. I think we've got a little clip of Becky's attempt today. So come up here, Jazz. I'm sure you're going to crush this. Here's Becky's. She crashed there. So as long as you do better than that, we're good. Any advice? Slow and steady, all right? Like a distance.
Okay, and they both go speed, left, right.
Yes. Yes, up, left, right. Sort of. Just to have a go. But slow and steady, we found, wins the race, because you can flip them easily. Are you ready?
I think so. I'll give it a go.
Fingers crossed. All right, adjudicator, are you ready? Yes. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Jazz. Keep it straight. Don't get too fast. Ah! Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's so tense. She's hugging the lane rope. She's flipped it. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for attempt number 1. Oh, we don't have time. You got 15 seconds on. 15 seconds. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Here we go. You know what? We'll cut that out. A round of applause for Jazz Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. It's another did not finish, just like Rebecca Adlington. How was that for you?
I mean, it wasn't my finest race, but, you know, I'll learn from it. I can pick myself up.
Good. As long as you're learning. That's the joy of these things. Round of applause for Jazz. Come on, Jazz. Let's get your time up on the board. Another DNF. But you know what? You don't get many of them in your career, do you? Come on over. All right, we'll get that time up, or lack thereof. And for those who are watching the stream at home, it's over to Bob. Becky's going to join him in the commentary. And for those in the house, we're just moments away from the action. So let's get into it.
Good evening. Welcome to the British Swimming Championships 2019, session number 4, second evening of finals here in Tollcross in Glasgow. And welcome to you if you've just joined us on YouTube or indeed via the British Swimming website. I'll be joined in just a moment by Becky Adlington as we look through the evening's proceedings. And we will see, of course, Adam Peaty again. We'll see James Guy again. There are a lot of intriguing races, and here they are in order. We'll start as we did last night. Apart from the first event, which will be a straight-off heat, will be declared winner of the women's 800 freestyle. After that, it will be the junior, followed by the transitional final, and then it will be the open final of the 50 breaststroke. Then the same with the women's, the men's 200 butterfly final, 2 backstroke finals, women's and men's, and we'll round things off with the women's 200 meters breaststroke at just after 8 o'clock. That's your lineup, so that gives you an idea of where everything's going to be. So roughly, we're thinking that Adam Peaty will be 10 to 7, certainly in that kind of range, and he'll be up against the likes of Ross Murdoch and Craig Benson in that final in about 23 minutes' time. Here are the officials to oversee things for tonight. They haven't had to be too busy. A few DQs in the backstroke because we have 2 backstroke finals tonight. We have the junior and transitional and the open finals in the 100 backstroke for both men and for women as well. They're far too trendy. Becky's just returned to the comedy position and presenting with a pair of sunglasses, which are far too trendy for me.
Well, we're here in the middle of us, so I thought, well, they're not mine, so they must be yours.
No, they're not mine. They look better on you than me, I have to say. 800 freestyle then, as they were mentioning in the studio, your event. Now, I heard you mention about Holly Hibbert.
Yes.
I had a chat with Sean Kelly, who reckons she hasn't given up the 800 and she might be on course to do it next year for the Olympics.
Oh, no, I don't think she's retired from it fully. I think it's just one of those that you pick your seasons, don't you? It's kind of one of those that this season she just might have done a bit more speed work and she wants
she hasn't written off altogether. So the impression I was getting, just having a look through and talking to people, that maybe she's going to concentrate on the 2 and 4 and the 8's no longer part of her program. But I think that Sean believes that she has all the tools and all the ability to be able to convert what she has in 400 to 800. Because I think we were kind of writing off the possibility of maybe having anybody at the Olympics in Tokyo next year in the 800. And she is a possibility if she wants to do that event next year.
I think it's really difficult as an athlete because obviously when the programme or the schedule of events gets revealed, you look at that programme and you think, hold on, what can I fit in, what can I not? And that's what James Guy did, and that's why he dropped the 400, as it just didn't fit in with his week. And I think Holly probably does the same, and if there is going to be a women's 4x2, how does that fit in? If she is going to do the 200, the 400, the 800, it's a big programme, and not everyone is Katie Ledecky. I think we need to remember that. She is a very, very rare person. I think a lot of people watching and go, well, Katie Ledecky can do it, why can't other people? And she's just such a rare breed. So for Holly, she does have that natural speed, and we've seen her over the past couple of years swim some incredible 400. So for her to focus on that this year, it's kind of, we're not sat here going, what is she doing? We're outraged, are we?
Far from it. I mean, she's got a big workload as it is.
Yes.
But I think we were kind of giving the impression as well. So I was. I'm thinking, well, 15 months down the line, are we going to find anybody to do the 800 freestyle? If she's not doing it, then probably not. If she is, maybe.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those we'll wait and see. I mean, there could be one of these junior swimmers that we're seeing right now come through next year. So you never know. Anything can happen in an Olympic
year. It's 15 months in the 800, though, isn't it? Would you make those massive improvements in 15 months in the 800?
I certainly did. I mean, I did qualify for the World Championships the year before Beijing, but I didn't swim very well. I didn't even make the final, and then went on to do what I did. I think nothing is ruled out Olympic year. I think Olympic year is so special. We see so many surprises, so many shocks that, yes, this time of year is great because we're getting to know some of the juniors right now, but I think some people next year will do big drops, significant personal best to make that team.
Well, we are into what is in effect the final heat, but it is the heat declared winner because we did have heats this morning, and it has been obviously ranked on their entry times. So we're going through the list, and this on paper is the fastest swimmer in the field. In fact, looking through, she's something like 13 seconds faster, 12 seconds actually faster than Leah Crisp, and about 13 seconds quicker than Emily Clark on paper. So Danielle Huskisson of University of Stirling, coached by Stephen Tigg, is now just turned 26. Should be going in lane number 4. Emily Clark in 5 for Loughborough. 3 is Leah Crisp. But to say, just looking at personal best, season's best even, Danielle Huskisson's probably about 10 seconds quicker than anybody else in this field. She would be the favourite to win this.
Yeah, and traditionally we see her in open water, so we know she's got the endurance. She certainly is not going to die off at all. It's how much speed she's got and how much further ahead of the rest of the field can they go with her. It's all about tactics, this.
As we saw this morning, some people like to go from the off and try and hold on. Some people like to just split their race into 2, if you like. Treat it as 2 400s. Here's the 400 bit, and then I kick into a different mode for the second 400. That's worked for a couple of people today.
Yeah, it definitely has. And we even saw this morning somebody negative splitting, didn't we? And everyone treats it differently. Even then with me and Jazz, we looked at it completely different. So you've got to work to your strengths and weaknesses. And with Danielle, obviously, she knows she's got the endurance. She knows that she's got the stamina there. She's not going to die off at all. It's just how much work you do for the pool and open water. It's very tough doing the 2 because they are different schedules. They're different things throughout the year. You do have to have a slightly different technique for open water than you do pool swimming. It's very hard to do both. So
you have to have boxing gloves if you're doing open water?
You do, yeah, certainly do. But your leg kick isn't as strong for open water. It's a lot more kind of more brutal, I think, on the shoulders and your arms, obviously getting over those waves if it's choppy. So it's one of those that is very, very different to pool swimming. In the past, we have seen people like Cassie Patton, Kerry-Ann Payne doing the both. So it's not surprising that Danielle's here, but it's how much speed she's got. And who else is going to go with her? I mean, at the minute, lane 8 is looking really, really strong as well. There is people that are still going with her. She's not dropped anyone yet.
That's Lola Davison of Newcastle in lane 8. And just to refresh your memory, the British record stands to a certain Rebecca Adlington, Nova Centurion, 16:08, 2008, 08:14:10, Beijing, China, to give it all the detail. On the Saturday morning.
It was.
And the whole of the nation woke up to that at something like 3 o'clock in the morning. You got fantastic viewing figures for that. 3 o'clock in the morning, people were getting up to watch that race.
That was just all my family.
Yeah, no. Well, you had an extended family of maybe a couple of million, I think, that night, possibly. It was certainly a huge audience to watch that, and all getting on for 11 years ago now.
I know, you make me feel old, Bob.
Well, no, don't worry about the old part of it. I got past that a long, long time ago. Well, this race is not quite as one-sided as maybe I suspected it might be, because it's quite tight. Leah Crisp actually is leading at that turn from Danielle Huskisson and then Maisie McCartney of Thanet Swim. So maybe, I wonder whether Danielle Huskisson's playing possum here, just waiting for her time, biding her time to make that break, make that kick at the end, or is Leah Crisp going to try and track her all the way? At the moment, there are 3, maybe 4, if you include Madeline Crompton down below us from Bath University, who are all there or thereabouts.
I think it's one of those at the minute. Everyone just looks very comfortable, don't they? Nobody's kind of gone out for it too hard. Everyone's just kind of weighing each other up and just kind of taking it nice and easy. Nobody looks like they're trying harder than they should do. Everyone looks pretty smooth. It is a very difficult time to make for the World Championship. So these girls know that it's probably a little bit too far out of reach. So for them, it's one of those that they just want to get in, do a real gutsy swim, get a decent time, get a solid race under their belt. It's one of those that you don't race 800 often enough. It's not like you can go to competitions every weekend, because the 800 often isn't in there with it being weekend competitions. So for them, they'll just like having the experience of getting another 800 under their belt.
Very impressive display so far from the 17-year-old from Leeds, Leah Crisp. Personal best of 8:47.90 compared to Danielle's 8:35.99, and just a couple of lengths, a couple of lanes up from Danielle Huskisson is Maisie McCartney of Thanet Swim, 8:48.86. Dan Cross and the Thanet team very proud of what they're producing down there in East Kent at the moment, and rightly so. Leah Crisp with a 3:47.92 split there, which is around about 0.3 of a second ahead of Danielle Huskisson. Maisie McCartney in 3rd place, Emily Clark in 4. Still quite a long way to go. Of course, it'll be 400 when they turn next time. So we're coming to the halfway mark of the 800 freestyle, and no real pattern emerging in this race as yet.
No, I mean, you kind of, it's pretty obvious that it would all be in the middle lanes when you look at their entry times, when you look at their personal best times, that you would say it would be in the middle of the pool. So I think they're all just kind of thinking, I don't want to go yet. I want to use you a little bit more. It's kind of very hard on the distance events to go out there, to swim it on your own and not having anyone next to you. So I think they're all just trying to kind of carry each other forward. It's a bit like in cycling, that using everyone's slipstream a little bit and testing the waters. Nobody wants to break too soon and not have the endurance or the back end, even though we know that Danielle's got that.
But Beijing must have been quite weird for you, because you're used in domestic events to swimming on your own and being a long way ahead of the field. In Beijing, you were exactly that from about 4:50 onwards. And I wonder, were you thinking, well, what's going on here? I can't see anybody at the moment, because there was nobody anywhere near your feet at that point.
I know, I was a bit panicked about 200 to go when I saw, I always looked over for Bill Furness, my coach, who is now the head coach of British Swimming, and I always look over at Bill, and I looked over at him and he was just flapping. And you know, Bill Furness does not flap, and I thought, hold on, something's going on here. Someone's chasing me, or I can't see somebody. I didn't know at the time.
Exactly, stop and ask him why.
Exactly.
What's wrong, Bill?
I was like, what is he doing? This isn't the signal I'm used to. But obviously it was because I was on world record pace, but I didn't know that. So I just assumed, you know what, I can't see the end lanes. I don't know what's going on. Just put my head down and just keep going.
Well, Katie Ledecky this year got close to your world record. No, she's broken it before, but 8:14.24 is the fastest time in the world from Ledecky.
And that's not even, that's just a training swim for Katie.
Yeah, it is these days, but there is a Chinese girl who's an 8:14.64. So maybe there's a challenge coming.
It's nice to see the rest of the world kind of closing and bridging that gap, and we've seen it over the 400 and the 200, so it's good. I mean, Katie Ledecky has just been so dominant for so long that it's kind of like, come on guys, let's all catch Katie now.
Oh, well, look at this. 1, 2, 3 separated by 1/3 of a second. Nobody wants to take charge of this, or they're all swimming exactly the same metronomic rate with their arms, legs kicking about the same. Leah Crisp closest to us from Leeds, Danielle Huskisson of University of Stirling in 4, and then Emily Clark of Loughborough on the far side, very much in the mix here. All three of them, it should be between these three as to the winner. And again, look, we can't separate them. It's 0.3 of a second still. Leah Crisp now at the beginning of this this pack of three. Then Danielle Huskisson and Emily Clark. And difficult to say at this stage, but Leah Crisp does look the strongest of the three.
Yeah, she really does. I think she's trying to make a break now. She's definitely gone to her legs. She's picked up that rate, definitely quickening. I think she kind of knows that, right, she's got something in the tank. I want to shake these girls, so I'm going to make my move.
Good time to make it, because when they get to the far end, it will be 100 to go. So a good time, maybe 150 is not always maybe the best time. You're signaling your intent to the other two, but she's still holding on to that lead. It's not a massive lead, as you can see. Bit of an echelon from 3, 4, and 5. But she's not allowing yet Danielle Huskisson to get back alongside her. Emily Clark is just tracking Danielle in lane 5. They'll hear the bell next time, which might be the spur for a bit more impetus from all three of them. Let's see, and see what the gap is between 1 and 2. It is just over a second, 1.13 between Leah Crisp and Danielle Huskisson, and Emily Clark in third place. But I think my prediction, my observation a little bit earlier on, that Leah Crisp looks the strongest, seems to be bearing fruit here.
Yeah, she looks like she's picked it up yet again. So she's really built nicely over that last 200. And it's kind of like, as I was talking about earlier, breaking it down. She's definitely broke down this last 200 metres. She kind of picked it up a gear to kind of shake the other girls, and now she's increasing that rate yet again. And now it's just about how much left she's got in that tank for that last 50 metres, but she's definitely made a more significant amount to that gap.
Well, her personal best stands at the moment at 8:47.90. She'll be hoping to improve upon that incrementally, maybe a couple of seconds. She certainly won it. The battle for second is side by side with Danielle Huskisson and Emily Clark, but Leah Crisp has got this well and truly won. Keep an eye on the clock at the bottom. 8:47. Oh, well inside that. Well inside that. A 5-second PB for Leah Crisp. Got the job very well done. And that was all about how she managed that last 200 metres for Leah Crisp. Second, Danielle Huskisson, and third, Emily Clark. Great time for Leah, and winning it by 3 seconds.
Yeah, she swam that tactically very, very good. I mean, it was one of those that she kind of used the other girls, especially the first half, and then she just started to slowly pick it up. And she went at the right time. And that's the thing, is that comes with experience as well, knowing when to go, because you've got to trust your gut, and you've got to go, you know what, I have got this in the bag. And it takes a lot of belief in it, takes a lot of courage to do that. And she really timed that perfectly.
I know Richard Denigan would like to say a lot about the Leeds program, because they're working so hard to get back to the days of Terry Dennison. Leeds was one of the big clubs in the 70s, 80s. People like James Hickman came through there, and of course Adrian Morehouse came through there. Leeds with a new facility, or a newish facility now, kind of rebuilding things again. But they're rebuilding with a very good success rate at the moment, and they're bringing through some great juniors, and there's the proof of it from Leah Crisp with an 8:42.61. Best time she's ever done, and we'll be looking to improve on that during the course of the summer. Let's go and hear what Leah Crisp has to say with John Mason.
There you have it, our first British champion of the night, ladies and gentlemen, Leah Crisp. Congratulations! A great swim from you. How are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, feeling really good. I got a good, like, kind of 5 or 6 second PB there, which is good, as I've been on my previous time for a while, so it's nice to get a big drop.
Yeah. We were talking with Rebecca Adlington before about her tactics, and I could clearly see with, like, at the 600 metre turn, you definitely turned on the legs, you'd started to increase. Was that a tactic before the race?
Yeah, I guess it was it's always kind of build through the back end that we go for, and I know I have a strong kick, so I like to use that in the back too.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I was saying to the crowd, look at Lee's leg kick, it was so strong. Do you do a lot of leg kicks in your training sessions?
Yeah, we do quite a lot of kick work.
Yeah.
And I know we were discussing as well, there's sort of like in British swimming now a bit of a hole in the women's 800 metres. This is a main event sort of you're focusing on. Are you sort of trying to fill that hole sort of going forward?
Yeah, definitely try and go for the distance events, and 8 and 15 and 4 as well. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. 800 metre training, again, we were talking with Jazz and Becky before. How hard is it to train for the 800?
It can be very hard at times, especially, it's just like a few of you, and you might be, say, the last ones to get out in the big meters and stuff, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you did brilliantly, and you're now British champion. So I need to get you up here on our Best of British wall. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our first British champion of the night, Leah Crisp.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled as well. She should be with a sizable personal best. Big smile. That will go on our photo wall, which is getting quite crowded with different faces now. And there's another one to add to our collection from Leeds. Well done, Leah, winner of the declared fastest heat of the 800 meters freestyle. Right, on to the 50 breaststroke. No, not the big event as yet, though it is obviously big for the 8 who are involved in it, the juniors. But Adam Peaty will be along very soon after we've had the transitional final. It'll be the 50 breaststroke final, and we'll see what he has in his locker. 26.5 is the time he did this morning. Well, I probably think he could go around that 26 tonight. We'll see. It's his last swim, so he can give it all tonight. Doesn't have to worry about coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, he looked great this morning in the heats, didn't he? He had a fantastic start, just looked really smooth, really in control. I think knowing Adam, knowing that he likes to progress through the rounds, I think he'll be wanting to better that time from this morning.
So line up for the men's junior 50 metres breaststroke final. Rory Dixon of North Ayrshire, Andrew McIntosh of Edinburgh University in 2, William Mitchell of Millfield School in 3. Dartmoor's Cameron Williams is the fastest qualifier of this bunch in lane 4. Toby Arnold of Daventio in 5. Rodri Williams of Nofio Clwyd. There's the full lineup for you on the screen. In fact, we don't have a lane 8. No Rory Dixon. Everybody else is in place. And in 7 is Jonathan Milner of City of Leeds. So in terms of what we're looking at in personal best terms here, it's a lot in the low 29s. Quite a few, actually. It's very tight between the likes of Rodri Williams with a 29.17, Cameron Williams with a 29.28, and William Mitchell's got a 29.3 as well. So 3 here who are all very closely matched if they can match their personal best times or beat them. First splash and dash of the afternoon, the 50 metres breaststroke final. A lot happens off the start. A very good start by Jonathan Milner on the far side from City of Leeds. He was away like a rocket.
It's very hard on the 50, isn't it? Because you want to get that good start, obviously the swimming element, but then you've got to really, really spot that finish on the breaststroke because you don't want to end up too short and you certainly don't want to glide in on 50 metres.
They're coming back in the centre lanes now, and this is going to be a blanket finish. It could well be lane number 6 who gets there first. It is Rodri Williams of Nofio Clwyd with a 29.40. It's the season's best, not a personal best, but he did what he had to do on the day to win the junior final. Second place to Jonathan Milner of City of Leeds, who had that brilliant start, wasn't able quite to back it up at the end. And third, Cameron Williams of Dartmoor. So we had 5 swimmers indeed, under the 30 mark there, including Toby Arnold and Rory Dixon. Confirm results for you there. Nofio Clwyd and a win, followed by a second place for Leeds with Jonathan Milner in the 50 breaststroke.
For them, I bet them boys just love being in the call room with Adam Peaty and obviously James Wilby, Ross Murdoch. It was just great experience for them, obviously to have that second swim, but also to see how those guys prepare for their race, what they do in the call room, things that help them. Are they listening to music? What are they doing? How are they playing it? Are they trying to psych each other out? They'll have got all
Actually,
the...
I don't know what Adam does. Is he? We know he's a big music man, so he's probably got some tunes.
Yeah,
we know
he's always got those big headphones
James
on.
Guy always comes on pulled out with tunes, doesn't he?
Craig David or something. Yeah. James Guy does.
Hey, by the way, he got my Funking for Jamaica reference. He messaged me. He said Funking for Jamaica, he said. So he got it. In case you weren't listening earlier on today. No, it's a different era, but he
Still
knew it.
Lost on me, sorry,
He's younger than you.
Unless it's One Direction or pop, I'm a bit
Yeah,
out.
that's true. Yes, or Ariana Grande.
I did ask you if you knew who Kanye West
I know
was.
you did. You said on the way coming in yesterday. You said, "Have you heard of Kanye West?" I said, "Is it a tube station?" On to the 50 breaststroke men's transitional with Adam Metcalf in 1, Carl Booth of Cardiff in 2, Lewis Fraser of Swansea in 3, Archie Goodburn of Warrender 4, Gregory Butler of City of Derby in 5, Bristol's Marcus Gardner in 6, Aaron Dolan of North Lanarkshire in 7, and Conor Bryan of City of Oxford. A lot of slapping going on here as they prepare for this one. Looking down the column, see if anybody's in the 27 jet. No, there's a few people in the actually low 28s. Archie Goodburn could break that 28 barrier here. He's got a 28.04 against his name. And again, Let's see whether the start is indicative of how it might end. We saw a very good start from the lead swimmer in lane 8 before, and lane 8 had a very good start again with Conor Bryan looking to the center lane. Archie Goodburn has a little touch of the Adam Peters about him, doesn't he, in the way he swims this race. It's almost not quite a clone of Adam Peaty, but the way he comes through with this very strong finish, it looks like Goodburn's going to get this one for me. I think he's got it with 5 to go. I can call it now at 28.34. So again, not quite the sub 28 I'm sure he would have wished for, but it's still a win, and it's a win very comfortably actually by just over 0.2 of a second from Gregory Butler, and third place going to Aaron Dolan.
Well, Archie's had a very, very busy 2 days. Yesterday, he qualified for World Juniors and European Juniors on that 100 metres breaststroke. Today, he's also doing the 200 metres butterfly. So he did the heats of both the 50 and the 200 butterfly this morning. He's in the final for the 200 butterfly later on as well. So he's got to be quick turnaround here to make sure that he gets a bit of swim down ahead of that 200 butterfly final.
We will bring you the men's 50 metres breaststroke final in just a moment. Tell you after that, we'll bring you the 50 butterfly for women. Of course, the 3 finals as ever. Then we'll move on to the 200 butterfly for men and the 200 backstroke finals, men and women. And we'll round things off with the 200 breaststroke at the back end of the program. Well, it will not surprise you to see that's a British record. It's also a European record. It's a Commonwealth record. And it's a world record for Adam Peaty, because I don't think anybody else has been down that low. No, it's been sub 26, have they?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think Cameron made it up sub 26. No. And in terms of the world at the moment, even the best, who's not Adam Peaty, Fabio Scazzoli, has only done a 26.8. That's good, but not as good as Adam Peaty. 26.8 is the best the rest of the world has to offer at the moment.
Well, it's good. It's just the thing is, Adam Peaty is just above everyone else. It's not the fact that everyone else is bad, because they're really not. It's just, yeah, Adam's a class above the rest.
So here's our lineup. The supporting cast, if you like, to Adam Peaty. Mark Campbell of Aberdeen Performance. They won't be singing it like that. Of course, David Murphy in 2, City of Oxford. And obviously, we're going outside lanes in. I'll just give you the run through as it is. 3 is Craig Benson. 5 will be Ross Murdoch. There's Craig Benson of University of Stirling. Another one of the Stephen Tigg coaches, swimmers being coached by him. And here is Ross Murdoch. What a head-to-head we're going to see, we presume, between him and James Wilby, who isn't in the field for the 50.
Very surprising James has pulled out, but we know his main event is the 200 metres. So obviously went for it this morning, had a solid swim and thought, you know what, I'm going to leave this and concentrate on the 2.
So Zach Aitchison of University of Stirling gets his chance in 6. David Bloomfield of Loughborough in 7, and Oliver Taverner of Mount Kelly in 8. Now, let's remind you, this morning, 26.51 was the time from Adam Peaty, that world record 25.95. His last swim of the week coming up. Now, he doesn't have a major event now for quite some time. He just have training sessions and obviously gym work to think about. So in terms of racing flat out, this will be the last time we'll see him for a while. We know what tends to happen when he has a bit between his teeth. Are we expecting something special? What we'll know is if he comes off the blocks well with his reaction time, we could be. So I'll give you an idea of the reaction time from Adam. What's he away in? He's away in 0.63. That's decent. In fact, that is the 3rd fastest. Very, very quick indeed. Adam Peaty as ever into his stroke early, and at 25, he's won it already.
It's crazy that just even to 20 metres, he's half a body length up on the rest of the field.
Adam Peaty has this well and truly nailed. The question is, what will the clock show at the end of 50 metres? The answer is coming up now, 26.49. So he has gone a little bit quicker than he went this morning. Hasn't quite got into the realms of the high 25s. Maybe that was too much to expect. That'll come later in the year. Don't worry. He'll get the chance to swim it elsewhere. He'll get the chance to swim it at the Worlds in South Korea later in the year. Adam Peaty gets first place Second place going to Ross Murdoch. And I think he'll be happy with a 27.45. Slightly better than his season's best. Craig Benson of University of Stirling in third place with a 27.74. So all of them doing season's best, and just emphasizing he is the kingpin, both over 150 as well, because we knew, stop the race, put it on freeze frame at 25, we knew precisely who was going to win that, and by a margin of almost a second as well.
Over 50 metres, it still blows my mind, and I just constantly, I always think, what else has he got to learn? What else can he do to improve? Because he's already just a class above everyone else, and even there, he's improved so much on his start, and his skills are phenomenal. And like, how much more has he got to give?
Let's hear from our double champion. 150 is Adam Peaty with John.
There you go, done it again. British champion once more, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Peaty. Adam, week's over and done. How you feeling after that one?
Yeah, I mean, the 50 is always hard to judge, you know, whether to pick up the stroke or let it lie low a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's almost the same this time as this morning. A little bit disappointed in that, but I wanted to move it on, sorry. But, you know, that's a 50-metre breaststroke. The harder you try sometimes, you know, you end up with worse results.
Of course. And, you know, we were sort of talking about this. Obviously, you've had such a stellar couple of years. Looking back at the last 12 months, it's been incredible. But we wanted to know, like, what have you learned in that? Obviously, you're developing as you move on. What's been the biggest learning curve for you?
I think my biggest learning curve was commies last year. Not to take myself too seriously. At the end of the day, it's only sport. You know, sport can be a very powerful thing. It can inspire millions of people if you allow it. But at the same time, you're only human. So don't take it too seriously. Enjoy it. And obviously, into Europeans last year, I realised that and turned it around.
Yeah, awesome. It's kind of a weird programme because we've got the 100 breaststroke and then the 50 right next to each other. Would you prefer it a little bit more spread out, or are you happy with it being next to each other?
Not really. I'm not really bothered. Anywhere, anytime, really. That's my attitude. Really, it could be on the same night. I'll still, you know, race the same. So it's that's just my kind of attitude to that. But you know, World Championships is pretty much the same. Obviously, you've got semis and you've got finals, so you've got a bit more rest. But you know, everyone's in the same boat, so.
And you're, in my eyes and everyone else's eyes as well, you're a big game swimmer. I mean, I know you like coming here and you like swimming fast in the heats and fast in the final, but World Championships, I mean, you must be so excited, I mean, because that's where you perform the best.
Yeah, I mean, I've always got like an ethos that, you know, the bigger the crowd, the better I swim. And it really does, you know, it shows all my best performances are pretty much in the big crowd arenas. And that's just who I am. I like to, you know, kind of almost a showboat it. I love to race in front of, you know, loads of people. So, but yeah, I mean, coming here, it's still British Championships, still a big game. So I'm just, you know, going out there and just doing what I do, really.
Did you have fun?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we love that. Well, look, you've done now, mate. You can relax a little bit. Good luck with the coming year. I know it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time. British champion, Adam Peaty.
And the next time we'll see him swim in front of a big audience, it will be South Korea. I know we haven't actually named anybody in the team yet, but he made his time yesterday. He'll do the 50 and he'll do the 100. And we'll see him in July trying to defend that World Championship. You know, he's only been beaten once in the pool, hasn't he, in the last 4 years? That was last year in the 50 by Cameron van der Berg, who now is retired.
Yeah, he's definitely unbeaten over that 100 metres, that's for certain. And he'll be so excited. Like Adam said, he loves the world stage. He loves to race. He's a very competitive bloke. Obviously, you have to be. But Adam, he loves that. He really relishes the crowd and makes the most of it.
So on to the splash and dash, not breaststroke this time, but of the butterfly, 50 fly for women. We'll have the junior final first. Let's go through the lineup with them as they get announced. Lottie Wynne-Jones of City of Milton Keynes is in lane 1, and she did a personal best a couple of weeks ago. Not quite emulating that today. Chiara Tomasello of the City of Manchester Aquatics in 2. Chiara Morris of City of Cardiff in 3. Lucy Grieve of South Ayrshire is the fastest in this field with a 27.9 this morning. That's a personal best for her as well. Sophie Freeman of Plymouth Leander, coached by Roberto Pavoni. All over Roberto's charges here. Of course, a couple of years ago he was still swimming, but now a coach down at Plymouth. Emily Ford, City of Oxford in 6, and Olivia Marshall of the Isle of Man in 7. No lane 8. We are away for the first of 3 finals, the junior final of the 50 meters butterfly, and they're all pretty closely grouped in terms of their time, so imagine this will be a blanket fish. Could be quite a hard one for the commentator to call. Lucy Grieve had a very good first 25, but so too does Sophie Freeman, and look at that outside smoker potentially in Olivia Marshall of the Isle of Man. But lane number 5 looking strong. Sophie Freeman of Plymouth Leander might come through and take this one, and she does. 27.96, that is a new season's best, not a personal best, but Roberto gets a win. And second place to Lucy Grieve, and third place up the top of your picture to Olivia Marshall. I know he's finding it very satisfying being able to put back in kind of what swimming gave to him when he was a swimmer. It's actually quite nice to, because not too many, there's a few obviously who've transitioned straight away from being a swimmer to being a coach. A lot of people stick around the sport but don't necessarily want to go through the labours of day-to-day coaching.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. I mean, you only have to look around poolside. We've got Alan Bircher, we've got Mel Marshall, we've got Ian Hume, we've got Roberto Pavoni, you've got Ewan Dale. There's just so many of these guys that have been on the team in the past, and it's good because obviously they can share their knowledge, they can share everything they learn, they can teach their athletes the mistakes that they made to hopefully not repeat them, and also they kind of know it, they know what it takes, they know the pressure, they know the day-to-day, they know how hard and how disciplined you have to be, so hopefully that really helps their athletes.
Well, he's making that transition very well. He was up in Leicester for a bit, wasn't he? He was at the Leicester club, I think, for a bit before he went down to Plymouth. That was his first job, but then that's quite a big step, because Plymouth is still seen outside of the big 2 as quite a big club. Plymouth Leander, obviously, in before with John Rudd, produced the likes of Ben Proud, for example.
I kind of associate anyone that's got, or any club that's got a 50-metre pool to be a big club, because they're just so lucky to have those facilities. I think there's about 42, someone told me, 50-metre pools up and down the country. So to have one of them is just incredible.
Not enough. No, I think Paris has got something like 30. You know, something ridiculous. Like Paris as a capital city has something like 30, and we have 42 in the whole of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which is nowhere near enough, as we know. But we could keep banging that drum for as long as we can, and hopefully it will change eventually. The transitional 50 fly final. Kiara Slosson of City of Leeds in 1. Yasmin Perry of Aberdeen Performance in 2. Kate Clifton of City of Sheffield in 3. Emily Barclay is the fastest going into this one from Loughborough University. Katie Robertson of South Ayrshire, then Yasmin McRae of Poole, and there will be a big name from Poole coming up later on in the 200 butterfly. 7, Jane Brown of Newcastle, and Elizabeth Harris goes in lane number 8. So it's the transitional 50 metres butterfly final, and again the start is pretty even. We have only potentially dropped 1 and 2, though they could come back into the fray. Lane 4 with Emily Barclay looking strong. Everybody on that side of the pool is looking very strong too. Jasmine McRae of Poole, and lane 5, Kate Robertson. But is it going to be 4? I think it might just be Emily Barclay in 27.35 for our winner. And that is just outside of personal best. But again, as we were saying, it's getting the race run, getting the race won, and that's exactly what she has done, with Kiara Slosson coming through late on in that one. Third place to, in fact, joint third place to Kate Clifton and Katie Robertson.
Yeah, for those who obviously weren't watching last night, the transition finals are for those guys born 1996 or younger, so for 23s and under. And the reason why they've done that is to give them the opportunity of that second swim, that experience of their final. And like Emily just did there, she's able to better what she did in the heats, and she gets that experience ahead of the Olympic trials next year, because that's obviously what everyone is focusing on. So it gives these guys that are kind of slightly younger, the slightly coming through ones, an opportunity.
There is somebody we miss very much. Francesca Halsall, who set the British record in the 50 fly back in 2014. Decided after Rio, well, you know, I put all my years in. I tried as hard as I could. I missed out by fingernail in Rio, missed out by fingernail in London. I've had enough of those fingernails. I'm going. And pursuing a different life now, but I know still keeping across the swimming fraternity, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, she loves sport, Fran does, and the fact that she's now got married, she's now got everything set up there, up north. She's kind of enjoying her retired life, but she's still very much in the game. I wouldn't ever rule out a comeback from Miss Halsall. I would never. She's got too much speed.
I can't imagine her doing masters, though. She would have to do something at this level, because she's a competitive animal, and let's not forget, our best freestyler for a whole decade, pretty much, female.
Yeah.
In terms of shorter distances, anyway, not obviously longer distances as you, but shorter distances, Fran was our...
oh, no, she was our speed queen.
Yeah, definitely was. And here's Emily Large, who made that England Commonwealth Games team last year. Two Emilys side by side in 6 and 7, Large and Horn. And just finishing off, Harriet Jones of City of Cardiff will be in 4. Fastest, though, in the field, looked after by Neil Harper, obviously with loads of American experience. Neil Harper with Dave Heathcock, Anna Hopkin with a personal best, which she set in this pool this very morning, 26.69. So we know she's in terrific form. Guess who the fastest in the world right now is?
Sarah?
Oh, you looked at my sheet.
No, to be fair, I was guessing Sarah Shostrom before I read it.
25.34 is the best time in the world, but Anna Hopkin will be happy to get down from 26.69 if she can. And there's only one swimmer in the field who's been quicker, and that's Harriet Jones of the City of Cardiff. So all present and correct, all 8 in place. And here comes the final of the 50 butterfly, the open final. Now, I think they've been working quite hard on Anna Hopkins' starts. Let's have a look at how she comes up in 4. Yeah, she comes up in a decent place and probably will get to the front of the field now, but she's being challenged by Charlotte Atkinson from Loughborough to her left-hand side. And look at the top of the picture in lane 8. Sophie Yendel of the City of Derby is going very, very well over the first 25. Can she keep it going, or will it be the centre lane? I'm looking at 3 now. Charlotte Atkinson coming through maybe for the touch. It is Atkinson in 26.80, and that is a new personal best for Charlotte Atkinson. Right on the money of a personal best. 26.80. Second place, Harriet Jones. Third, Sophie Yendel. I think Anna Hopkin will be a bit disappointed, considering the start she got, finishing 4th at 26.95.
Yeah, but that was a great swim from Charlotte. I'm used to seeing her on the 200 butterfly, where she just missed out on a Commonwealth Games medal last year, coming 4th. But for Charlotte, I think that will give her loads of confidence for this week. For some of these guys, it's only day 2. It's a 6-day meet, and for her, she'll be really focusing on the rest of her swims with that 100 and 200 to come.
So the British champion is Charlotte Atkinson with that time. She won it by, well, look at the top 3 there. 8-0, 8-4, 8-6. The top 3 separated by 6/100ths of a second. I'm glad to say the commentators' eyes are working okay tonight, because I called that one as well. It won't necessarily happen all the way through the evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a miracle worker, but I got that one right for a change. So Loughborough University's Charlotte Atkinson is now in our studio, and will be speaking, and is speaking, with John Mason.
New British champion, Charlotte. Congratulations.
Thank you, yeah. I'm happy with that, but I completely missed the wall, so Andy's not going to be happy.
Typical swimmer gets out of the pool, British champion, and goes, my coach is going to kill me.
It's so strange, because I was going to ask you, like, the importance of starts and finishes over this 50, because we've just had the 800 free, where maybe it's not as important. On the 50, you've got to nail those starts and finishes.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a 200 swimmer, so I mean, I try and nail the starts and finishes, but just kind of wing it.
I mean, it's over in the blink of an eye as well. I know 200, your main event, but do you enjoy just getting there, a bit of a splash and dash?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with that 50, because I've not gone that time since I won it in 2017, so I'm really pleased with that time. It was a bit unexpected because I've approached this season a bit differently, so I didn't really race before Christmas, so but I trusted my coach the whole way through, so... Yeah.
And it gives you that confidence, right? So you're British champion now in the 50, you've got your main event coming up the 200, like, gives you that confidence for the 200?
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good way to start the week, so I'm excited to see what the rest...
Well, we're excited to see what you do as well. Congratulations, British champion. You've made it up here onto our Best of British wall. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Charlotte Atkinson.
Yeah, job done. She may not have been totally happy with the finish, but she got there before everybody else by 0.04 of a second. Sophie Yendel in third place for City of Derby. That was your 1, 2, 3 in the 50 butterfly. So we're on to the 200 butterfly final for the juniors first off. And shortly we'll see the likes of Jacob Peters, fastest qualifier this morning. Duncan Scott's in there, James Guy's in there, Jane Elliott's in there, Ed Mildred, who had a terrific swim for Northampton yesterday. They're all in the final of the men's 200 butterfly, but we've got the juniors and the transitional to come before that. Ross Philp of Staines. Probably won't get a chance to mention Chris White very often, so I will on this occasion. He's the coach of Ross Philp. Alan Bircher will look after and does look after Hector Pardo of Ellesmere College. Swansea, Rhys Edwards with Hayley Baker. Emma Collins-Barnes with Sam Daly at Mount Kelly. Dan Cocking, the coach at Sheffield with Ruben Vista. Warrington's coach Darren Ashley with Alex Watkinson. Mandy Bell looks after Isaac von Fintel. And Kostas Kalitsis for Warrender with James McDonald in lane 8. Good to be able to get through the names of the coaches and the swimmers. For a change, give them the credit they deserve for getting their swimmers into this junior final. In terms of time, there's one man who stands out really with personal best, and that is Sam Daly in Mount Kelly. He's got a 2:02 to his name. Everybody else is 2:04, 2:05, 2:06 really. So if it goes to the plan of personal bests. Oh, hello. Turning to stand down now. What is going to be the adjudication on that?
I'm glad no one fell in.
Nobody did. I think they can all go back on the block. We'll make sure the referee's got to decide upon that. Yeah, everybody okay. The nerves kicking in.
Lots of shouting.
A lot of shouting. Like they could do with a bit of silence, actually, couldn't they, for the start? Slightly nervy beginning to this race, which hasn't obviously got underway yet, but let's get them in position and get them off. Yeah, they're okay. I think they're all away safely. Reaction times, nothing out of the ordinary, so all 8 fine so far as that is concerned. And we'll see whether my prediction that Sam Daly will probably be a little bit too strong for the rest of the field is bearing out, and at the moment it is bearing out because he is already a body length clear of everybody else going down the 50.
Yeah, for these juniors, they've got to go a time of 1:59.8 to make the World or European Juniors Championships. We have got some other juniors going in the transitional final, and we've even got one in the open final as well. So plenty of opportunity for these swimmers to make that 1:59.8 time.
Sam Daly is 18 years of age, turned 18 in January. And it's showing everybody a clean pair of heels. Look, they're all pretty much in a line. All other 7 swimmers are in a line virtually, and there is one swimmer so far out in front by about 2 to 3 body lengths now. Sam Daly turns in a 57.88, and he's got a 1.5 second advantage over Ross Philp, then Hector Pardo and Rhys Edwards. Now, if he keeps this going, this is a very impressive display. Surely there's a PB on the cards if he does.
Yeah, let's just hope he keeps it going. I mean, we were talking about this morning in the heats, the way that you swim a 200 butterfly. It's very hard down that last 50 when that elephant or that piano lands on your back and you've got to carry yourself. But there's no signs of him slowing down as of yet. He's even making the gap slightly bigger. Yeah,
it's looking very impressive from Sam Daly. That lead is bigger now. It's nearly 2.5 seconds over Hector Pardo and Rhys Edwards in third, Alex Watkinson in fourth. Now, watch Sam Daly go. This is where it really will hurt. The piano's arrived, the elephant's arrived, the chest of drawers have arrived, and he's still managing to plough his way through the last 50 and get to that wall. They may be appreciably catching him now, but he's done enough over the first 150, 175 to claim this as his own. And what can he do in terms of time? 2:03.39. That did hurt. It's a season's best. It's not a personal best, but he put as much effort, every nerve and sinew into that swim that he possibly could. Hector Pardo gets second for Ellesmere and Swansea in third with Rhys Edwards. Boy, did that hurt the last 25. It was almost like he was in gear 5 and suddenly it jumped into gear 2.
Yeah, 200 fly is never easy anyway, but that last 15 meters, you want to see the guys like Hector who just came through that last 15 meters, not the ones that are slowing down and just bobbing up and down, do you?
Yeah, the old cork on the top of the water, but 2:03.97 got very close to Hector Pardo in the end. Only about half a second or thereabouts shy, with Rhys Edwards of Swansea Aquatics in 3rd place. Transitional final up next. There'll be some names here familiar, like Archie Goodburn, for example, who's back. You mentioned him earlier on, Becky, and he's back in the 200 fly final as well.
It's a very odd combination, butterfly and breaststroke, and also to change from that pure element of speed on the 50 breaststroke to then go, hold on, I've got distance and endurance now of a 200 butterfly. It's a different headspace there.
Well, we talked about he must be an IMer. He is an IMer. He did the European Juniors in the 200 IM and the 400, I think. But he said he did IM at the European Juniors last year, so that would explain why he feels comfortable with both the butterfly and the breaststroke as well.
Well, Bob, if he wasn't doing IM, we would make him do it.
I'm sure his coach would. Hang on a sec, you've got the two most important parts there, the two most difficult things to accomplish done. So why don't you put them into practice in the 4-stroke routine?
And that's what you can do as a junior as well.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about, is testing the waters on all the different events. It is a busy program for him. It would be interesting to see towards the end of the week how he is faring up with this busy program, but good on him for giving it a go, and that's what being a junior is all about.
And his personal best is right on the cusp of breaking the minute, 2 minutes rather. 2:00.46 is his personal best. Could he get under that magic 2-minute barrier? Maybe too much to ask, but it's not out of range. Got to find about half a second. George Barber of Royal Wolverhampton in 1. Jacob Goodman of Millfield in 2. Joseph Porter of Stockport Metro in 3. Archie Goodman, we mentioned, of Warrender 4. 5 is Charlie Hutchison of Ellesmere. Freddie Clampett of Plymouth Leander. City of Salford's Ewan Wilson in 7. And Wickham District's James Baxter is in lane 8. So who is making the early move here? Freddie Clampett is the answer to that from Plymouth Leander in lane number 6. He will lead by about 0.3 of a second over Archie Goodburn at this stage. Jacob Goodman in 3rd and James Baxter in 4th. But as we saw the last one, being a front runner is hard work and can be quite tough.
It can. Tactics are a huge part of this event, I think, and you've got to have that confidence. You've got to have that smooth speed over that first 100 metres. It's kind of slowly equaling out a little bit now.
Yeah, James Baxter's had a very good second 50, and he's moved up the standings. But so too has Archie Goodburn. He's in 2nd now. 3rd is Jacob Goodman. Our leader is still Freddie Clampett, but there's no lead at all. It's been eaten into, and everybody in the centre lanes is coming back, and this race is changing complexion as I speak here. Jacob Goodman's moving to the front alongside Archie Goodburn and Charlie Hutchison and Clampett still in it, and the outside lane, James Baxter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are going to go to the wall virtually together here, and we have joint leaders very nearly. Hutchison just ahead of Goodburn, then Goodman, and Baxter and Clampett all under 1:30 at the moment. And this race could go any which way of the 5 that we're talking about. Freddie Clampett, who led early on, has now got a 2nd or 3rd win, but as he gets one, so too does Charlie Hutchison, and the outside lane with James Baxter. Baxter looks good. He won't know what Charlie Hutchison's doing. Hutchison won't know what he's doing. I go for Charlie Hutchison right now. I think he's going to get there first by about a body length, and he does, with a 2:00.52. And wow, that's a big climb down in terms of time for the Ellesmere College swimmer. Never been down there before. Personal best 2:02.67 before today. He's nearly in the 1:59s.
Yeah, speaking to Bill Furness and Chris Spice the other day, the head coach and performance director, they were very, very excited by Charlie Hutchison. He was one of those ones to watch of this week, said how incredible and how just amazing in training he is, but technically as well. So he's definitely one of those to note down for next year and possibly Paris as well.
Absolutely. And he isn't 17 yet. 17 in May. 1st of May is when he turns 17, Charlie.
Yeah, disappointingly, just missed that World Junior time by 0.7. So close, but he's got plenty more swims this week, then plenty more opportunities to get on those junior teams.
Well, there's another long-standing British record on the books. Michael Rocks from 2009. There's still a few from that
Super
shiny suit era. Hannah Miley's is still on the book for the 400 IM, and still the same for the 200 butterfly. There's quite a few have been knocked off along the way, but it'd be nice to see a few more go. Will it be today?
I don't know. This is going to be a really interesting race. Jacob Peters looked amazing this morning. You've got Duncan Scott in there, who you more associate with the front crawl, but nice to see him in the mix. He's got a really nice low butterfly. And James Guy, obviously. Everyone is looking, all eyes on James Guy and what he can pull out of the bag tonight.
Well, he might have been playing a little bit of mind games. He's quite good at that as James, and he didn't want to show his hand totally this morning, so lane 3 is where he will find himself. Jay Elliott of Sheffield. Now, we normally associate Jay in the past with the 1500. He doesn't do that anymore. He does do the 8s from time to time, and saw him in the 4 yesterday. Now here comes the man with the cans on, the man who will be listening to some tunes. He's probably listening to Funkin' from Jamaica from Tom Brown right now in lane 3.
I don't recognise him now. He's shaved his beard off. He looks very different.
I've got to say, that was quite some beard yesterday. Duncan Scott, who I don't think I've ever seen with any facial hair at all, actually, in lane 5. Maybe he's not got around to shaving yet, I don't know. And Jacob Peters is the fastest qualifier. And if you look through, you got universities, you got Bath, you got Plymouth Leander, Little Old Paul and Barry Aldrich have done a fantastic job with Jacob. And he looked superb this morning, did look really, really good. Season's best for him. The personal best is 1:57, so he was about a second and a half outside that, but he looked so good this morning. Now, James Guy, we know, will step it up. He's done a 1:55.91, so that was a little while ago, but he has done it. So he, again, is on paper a bit quicker. Duncan Scott, it's still a work in progress, his butterfly, but it's looking very good. He doesn't take too long to pick up the nuances, does he, of things when he goes into an event.
I think Duncan Scott could do anything. He's just that talented.
James Woodward Hatfield in 1. Ed Mildred of Northampton in 2. They have high hopes of him. Personal best in this event this morning. James Guy, season's best. Slow by his standards. He was very slow this morning, but we don't expect it to be around 2 minutes for this one. Jacob Peters of Paul, the fastest qualifier in 4. 18 years of age. Duncan Scott, University of Stirling. We know his pedigree from freestyle, and it's starting to emerge now in butterfly as well. Jay Elliott having a go over 200 flying, not a regular event for him, but giving it a crack in Glasgow. Plymouth Leander's Thomas Bealey in 7, and Matthew Donville of Warrington in lane number 8. Interesting to see how the main protagonists go with this one. Does James Guy go out strongly here? Does it depend on what the others around him are doing?
I think James always kind of takes it out very strong, doesn't he? He always wants that easy speed. He wants the first 50 to be effortless. He's got really good technique. We saw in the studio earlier with John that he rated himself quite highly on his technique and his strength, and he knows that he's on the top chunks that they were doing, so he knows that's in the bag. It's just a case of working those skills, pushing how far him and Jacob could take this and push each other on, but I think James will want that win.
Well, he's in control just at the moment. Jacob Peters is not letting him go. Duncan Scott's not letting him go. And 3, 4, and 5 are not separated by a great deal. We haven't got to the halfway stage yet. Jay Elliott hanging in there in 6, but James Guy led at 50, will lead at 100. The gap is about 0.8 of a second over Duncan Scott now in second place. Jacob Peters in third. But this is really where the race starts.
Yeah, it is, and James is wanting to make his move. He's now kind of near enough a body length ahead of the rest of the field. It's how much he's got in the tank, how close down could he get to that marker. The world's qualification time is very, very tough. It's a 1:54.6, and the consideration time is a 1:55.4. So how close to that could he get?
Look at Duncan Scott come back, though. I know James Guy's got a sizable lead, but the person who seems to be going quickest right now is Duncan Scott, who's not going to give up, and Jacob Peters is not done on this either yet, but no, he's going to catch James Guy. It's a question of James Guy against the clock now. He hasn't done a 155 for a while. He needs to get to a 154 to get the first qualifying time, and he ain't going to give up on this one. Duncan Scott is coming through very, very strongly. 2 lanes up from him. Let's keep an eye on that clock. How close can he get to something special here? James Guy will win it in a time of 1:56.51. Second place to Duncan Scott, who was catching him all the time there with a 1:57 dead, and Jacob Peters with a 1:59.14. I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that after what he did this morning with a 1:58. But James Guy, we knew he would turn it on, and he certainly did. An improvement by about 4 seconds from heat to final. But being what he is, and we'll hear from him in a few moments' time, probably not totally happy with that time, because he never is.
Yeah, it was a very, very difficult World's qualification time, and James has still obviously got plenty more swims to come. He's got the 100 metres, he's got the 200 metres as well, and obviously for that 4x2 as well, they've got the relays, and for the 100 metres butterfly, you can qualify on the relay as well. So, but I think it's always nice just getting that qualification out the way, isn't it? And then you can enjoy the rest of the week. So he's probably a little bit disappointed to miss it, but at the same time, he's got to take confidence from that. It's a really, really solid swim for this time of the year.
And the question is, what is his big event? What's his best event these days? Is it the 200 free? Is it the 100 fly, perhaps? What is his best event these days?
Hopefully they'll ask him.
Yeah, and we'll find out. If you're listening, studio, just ask him what he is, because he's doing a multitude of events. We know that. Changed his program around, doesn't do the 400 free anymore, and that's his time in the 200 butterfly, 1:56.51. And John Mason will probably ask that question to our champion, James Guy.
Oh, James Guy, welcome to the studio, mate. That last 10 metres looked like it hurt. How was that?
Oh my God, the last 10 metres felt like a drowning hippo. It was very, very hard.
Yeah, I'm British champion though. Still nice to finish it with a title.
Yeah, of course, it's nice to get the win there. I mean, it's quite a good field myself. Jacob and Duncan were good competitors on that race, so yeah, but nice to get the win. Yeah.
I mean, freestyle's obviously your #1 stroke. I think, is it? Still?
Yes, definitely.
It is, yeah. After that last 10 minutes, definitely is freestyle. Yeah, but I mean, how much of your training do you split between fly and freestyle?
You know what? It's mainly freestyle based. Now and again, I will put some butterfly in there, but most of the stuff with the guys at Bath is freestyle work.
Yeah, I saw a tweet recently of you, maybe a week ago, back at Trafford for your home.
Of course, yeah,
club.
Trafford Metro.
I mean, I love seeing tweets like that. You know, going back to your roots, where it all started. How important is that to you?
You know what? That's kind of the foundation of where I began my swimming career. I was only young there, but to go back and see the kids there and like kind of explain that to the teachers who are teaching them now, I was the same as them. So if you do work hard, things can happen, and look where I am today.
Fantastic.
Yeah. British champion and a whole lot more. Look, so excited to see what you do for the rest of the week, but congratulations, brand new British champion, making up onto our wall the best of British. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for James Guy.
Well, we said he can hardly get on his feet. Look at that, he had to be helped up by James Gillard then. I think all the lactate started to build up in those legs. Oh, hang on. I've got concrete legs.
I don't think I've heard any athlete describe themselves as a drowning hippo before.
Is that the one they see on those bed adverts where they put the hippo on top? Just to test out the springs.
It did look slightly painful,
Yeah,
but at least now we know that he is focusing on his front crawl, not necessarily as much on his butterfly.
Yeah, he'll do the 100 as well, and will do it very well, but yeah, 200 free is probably where he's best placed. He certainly emerged as a freestyler and has kind of adapted things to butterfly.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear him going back and kind of meeting the kids and doing everyone. It's really nice that people take the time to do that.
Quite a humble boy is our James. I know Mum and Dad are coming up later on in the week to see some of his race. They're not here today, so they'll be looking in. Oh, we recognise this young lady. Still looks like she should be in there, you know. Do you know what? She'll be looking at these times going, I should be in there. I should be in there.
She might just sneak onto the end of the podium.
So the 1, 2, 3 in the heat declared final. Emily Clark of Loughborough, 8:45. Yeah, we are looking for the next Jazz Carlin, and we're looking for the next Rebecca Adlington in the 800 freestyle. Is it going to happen in the next 15 months? It's a lot to ask of these three, but who knows? Danielle Huskisson, who set the pace early on. We know her from open water. She'll be doing a lot more of that, I'm sure, over the next couple of years. And probably aiming for that for Tokyo, I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine so with Danielle. She's been around for so long now. She's kind of, now that Kerry-Ann Payne is out of open water as well, it's kind of like she's our poster girl for it.
Personal best for Leah Crisp who timed her swim to perfection, just got into her slipstream of Huskisson and then pushed on the last 200, and basically once she got to the front was never going to be headed.
Yeah, no, she swam that tactically very, very well. Just built through, just kind of progressed and turned it on at the right time, and that's exactly what you want. She just kept storming through to that finish. It'll be interesting to see how she does on that 1500. Obviously, now that it is an Olympic event, she openly said to John and James that was what she was focusing on, the 8, 15, possibly the 4. So we'll see plenty of her this week.
Yeah, I can see Jazz back on pool deck having a chat, and no doubt we'll be passing on some tips, some information, because she's a giving soul, as indeed are you. And now the ceremony for the 50 breaststroke. We'll talk about collections of medals for Hannah Miley yesterday. Adam Peters is getting pretty huge, isn't it? I'm sure Mum's got a special cupboard or a special drawer, or maybe they go on the shelf. I don't know where they go.
I don't know. We need to ask Adam where he
Where's
puts them
where are the gold medals, though? Where's his Olympic gold?
He's got to keep them pretty close.
Where did you put yours?
I share mine with my mum and dad. Mum and dad have 2 and I have 2.
So Jack Buckner, the boss, is here to hand out the medals. And, well, you hear these names a lot because we have kind of a hardcore of breaststrokers who win the medals. They're interchangeable apart from PT in the 50 and the 100, but Greg Benson's always in the mix. Ross Murdoch will get the silver, always in the mix. He was in the 100. He will certainly be in the 200. And I think his head-to-head with James Wilby could be one of the races of the week.
Yeah, obviously for Adam, this was his last performance, but we've certainly not seen the end of Ross Murdoch, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what him and James Wilby can pull out the bag, because on the 100 yesterday, 4 of those guys all made the consideration time, so that's how high the standard is. So I'm pretty sure them guys were battling it out for that 200, but we'll see, hopefully, them both there.
Well, he went marginally quicker than he did this morning. Wasn't overly happy with the time. Everybody else in the world will be delighted with 26.49, but not he. He sets such high standards these days, and if he doesn't make big incremental improvements from the morning to the evening, then that's not what he wants. I'm sure he and Mel will be talking about that. Well, they'll have a target time, won't they, when they go into the final. This is what we'd like. Obviously, we'll take the win because we expect to get the win, but this is the kind of target time we're looking at. And if they were looking at maybe 26.3, possibly 26.2, then he would have fallen a bit shy of that.
Yeah, they constantly, them two, when you hear them talk about the long term and kind of setting their sights on that this is just a stepping stone into that. So they'll be now wanting to progress through the year. He'll have little competitions in the meantime before the World Championships, so we'll keep an eye on those, but it'll be very interesting to see what he pulls out the bag at the World Championships.
What will he do between now and South Korea? Because they want more racing, won't he? So will he go Mare Nostrum maybe, possibly?
Yeah, they race a lot of internal meets, a lot of competitions abroad. They'll go on training camps, they'll go on team training camps as well as individual club training camps. So they'll try and get away as much as possible, race that. They often tend to go to Rome, don't they? They go to Barcelona, they go all over Europe racing. So I'm sure Adam will be looking forward to that.
50 butterfly presentation now, and Sophie Yendel, 17 years of age, from City of Derby, has got her, I think, her first senior national medal in 3rd place, and she got mighty close. I tell you, it was 6 100ths between 1 and 3. So Harriet Jones got mighty close as well with a 26.84, 22-year-old from the city of Cardiff. Reaction times were almost identical for the top 3, 0.67, 0.67, 0.69. So you can't even look at the start to differentiate where they finished, because that was pretty much the same as well. But here's our winner, albeit by 4 100ths, and she wasn't particularly happy with her finish, but she got to the wall before everybody else, and that's the name of the game. 26.80 for Charlotte Atkinson of Loughborough. Of course, it's not an Olympic event. It will be at the World Championships. So what happens with the 50s if she doesn't make it on the 100s or the 200s? Will she get selected for a 50? Do we know at this stage?
Well, there's no consideration times, but there is those 8 wildcard spots that they could pick people for. So they'll look at all the rankings and everything else. But obviously for a lot of these guys, they do the Olympic events. They will kind of back it up with doing the 100s, the 200s, obviously for the 100s as well. For the individual strokes, there is relay opportunities. So
There's 30 spots on that World Championship team, and the British women will want to fill them.
Right, on to the 100 backstroke final. And this will be the junior version of that for the women. We've got about a minute, so I can run through what still remains in the program. So we'll have, there you go. You can see that we're down to the 100 backstroke final. So yeah, we're a little bit early on that, but we're nearly at time for the 100 backstroke finals. Then the men's 100 back, that could be the best final of the night, actually, potentially, couldn't it? Got 3 very closely matched in that.
Yeah, Luke Greenbank looked brilliant this morning, so I'm interested to see what he's got. And obviously with the breaststroke as well, Molly Renshaw looked really, really comfortable this morning. So it would be that's going to be a battle as well. There's going to be some really good head-to-head battles with Georgia Davis in the next one as well. So I'm really hoping these guys, we can get some more people on that World Championship team making those qualifying standards, if not the first place time.
So we are now ready for the junior final, and it's been nice this week to identify swimmers from smaller clubs, and Bromley have managed to get 2 into the junior final in the outside lanes. Imogen Mears and Tamrin Van Selm, who we mentioned yesterday. She did another personal best. She's doing everything every single time as a personal best. Every time she gets in the pool, she's doing a personal best pretty much right now. And the coach was saying, this is exactly what we wanted. It's what we talked about coming up from South London. If we can do personal best here, I'm happy. We can go home happy.
It's nice as well when you know you're swimming fast, the adrenaline, kind of the rush, just carries you on for the rest of the week, and you end up that everything just falls into place. It's a long old week if you're not swimming great, but for those who are, like Tamrin, it's just an incredible week, and what an amazing opportunity for her that she's had.
There is your 1 to 8 list for the junior 100 backstroke final. And in terms of personal bests, who's got the quickest? Well, Rachel Anderson's done a 103.16 before now, 103.45 for Tatiana Tostevin. And Tamrin Van Zelm, we mentioned with her personal best this morning of a 104.59. Let's see who does what in the 100 backstroke final. British record, of course, is still on the books from 2009. Gemma Spothers will get to the open final in a couple, but we're going to keep our eyes on maybe the stars of 2024 in Paris here. One of them could be in this field. Maybe it's Honey Osrin of Plymouth Leanders had a really good start down there in lane number 2. Centre lanes looking at 5. Charlie Jones of Royal Wolverhampton, coached by a former Olympian and Mark Spackman. And 50 turn, who's going to be there just ahead of the others? It is Charlie Jones by 15 100ths from Honey Osrin, Tatiana Tostevin in 3rd, then Sophie Shaw. But this could go to anybody. Look at that. It's 8 of them, all still pretty much in the race. 37 of them are at least. And Honey Osrin is not giving up her chances of winning this. But yeah, she's still going strongly, as is Tatiana Tostevin. Charlie Jones in 5, Rachel Anderson in 6, looking at the top of the picture in case somebody sneaks through. But I think we're going to get lane 2, Honey Osrin, to get to the wall first, and she does in a 102.54. Wow, 2nd PB. She was in the 103.3s, now in the 102.5s for Honey Osrin. 2nd place going to Sophie Shaw. So the outside lanes have it this time, and 3rd place to Rachel Anderson. So all decent times, all in and around the personal best, and certainly it is a personal best for Honey Osrin. What did Tamrin do? 103.7? Oh yes, 104.5 she did this morning, 103.7 tonight. So 2 personal bests again in a day for Tamrin Van Zelm.
I hope her mum's given her that pound so she can go get some swimming after.
Absolutely.
It's for these junior guys, obviously they're trying to make the World Juniors, the European Juniors. They have a time of 102.34 to make. We have got 2 juniors going into the transition final, Maddie Harris and Pia Murray, as well, from Ellesmere College. So for these guys, their PBs are so close to this qualifying standard as well. So hopefully they can just shave 0.2, 0.3 off their personal best to make that time.
Well, let's find out as they come out on pool deck. Harriet West of Loughborough, Jessica Shaw of Birmingham University, Ellesmere College's Pia Murray, Chloe Golding of City of Manchester Aquatics. Let's give you the full 8. Here they are, with Lucy Hope going in 5 for Edinburgh, Swim Gwynedd and Meddy Harris, East Kilbride's Jennifer King in 7, and Mid-Sussex represented by Sophie Maguire in lane number 8. So yeah, just remind you, they need to get down to the 102 threes. And well, Chloe Golding has been there before, although she's no longer a junior, sadly.
All eyes are on 3 and 6 for the junior time, so they're really close to it with their personal best. Even this morning, they were only 0.3 off just from their heat swim. So just from that bonus of swimming in an evening final, hopefully they can shave that 0.3.
Meddy Harris did a personal best this morning as well. Get down to a 102.67. 102.52 is the best that Pia Murray has done prior to today. But as we've seen, all the Ellesmere College swimmers, pretty much all of them, are doing improvements in PBs this week. So Birch has got them well prepared. Let's see how well they are prepared for the 100 backstroke final for the juniors. And this is the transitional version of it. This is the junior version of it. Transitional final. Sorry, that's off my screen as the junior hasn't actually come off my screen, but it is the transitional final of the 100 backstroke. And we're looking for somebody to make maybe an early move. The early move is coming from lane 5 from Lucy Hope of Edinburgh University. Let's see what time she can split here on the first 50. The answer is 30.05. Meddy Harris is right there with her. Sophie Maguire in 3rd place. Jessica Shaw in 4th. And Jennifer King. And lane number 5 now being joined by Meddy Harris. And of course, Meddy Harris is who we're looking at potentially for that spot on the junior team later in the year. Did her personal best this morning, looking good here as well, coming right through. Now it's going to be very tight between 3, 4, 5, and 6. Give it to 3, I think. Pia Murray in 102.27. Chloe Golding in a 102.27 as well. So joint winners for the Ellesmere College swimmer and for the City of Manchester Aquatic swimmer in a 102.27. Meddy Harris with a 102.42, so just outside, just smidgen outside that junior time.
Yeah, but amazing for Pia Murray, obviously making that junior time. So she has qualified, which she'll be over the moon about that. So even though she obviously is a junior, they get the opportunity to go in the open final, the transition final first, and then the junior final. So for her to have that second swim has just given her that opportunity to make those world junior teams.
Meddy Harris in 3rd place, but it's still another improvement. You have 102.6 to 102.4, as we've been mentioning. Quite a week for the Ellesmere program. The Ellesmere College are doing particularly well this week, and another example of it there with that finish from Pia Murray. Now the women's open 100 backstroke final. So what do they need in this one, Becky, to try and make the first place for the World Championship team?
Yeah, the first place is a 59.12, but there is a consideration time of a 59.47, which I think is definitely in reach. Obviously, Georgia has a personal best time of 59 anyway, but Jess Fuller Love looked really, really strong this morning as well, so hopefully these guys can get down to close to that. But obviously for this event as well, they also have the opportunity for the women's 4x1 relay as well to qualify. So it's not totally out of the question. Whoever wins the race, if they miss out on that consideration time, they could possibly make it for the relay as well.
Having a chat with Lauren Cox, who just came on pool deck, her coach Adam Ruckwood early on. Adam doesn't have many swimmers here, but was really impressed with Lauren this morning. She did a 102. She has got a 101.6 as a personal best, and he's saying, well, it could go one of two ways. She might be a bit giddy from this morning and thinking, I'll get back in there and not do anything. Or she could do something really nice tonight, something quite special. And as I say, when you're in a small program like his, I think he's got 2 or 3 swimmers here, that's all this week. It does mean so much more to you when you're kind of looking down your program and go, well, I've got nobody today, but I've got somebody tomorrow. You invest so much, don't you, in the fewer swimmers.
Yeah, but it's about having that experience, isn't it, for Lauren? So obviously the big goal is the Olympics next year. So hopefully she won't get too excited. But if she does, there's chances obviously next year to put it right. But for her, just what a fantastic opportunity, and really utilise these guys as well. I think it's going to be a very, very close race.
So the 1 to 8, give you the order once again. Charlotte Evans of Loughborough, Alicia Wilson-Guildford, Cassie Wilde, University of Stirling, Jessica Fuller-Love, Bath, Georgia Davis, Loughborough, University of Stirling, Kathleen Dawson, Lauren Cox of Coventry, and City of Sheffield. Lily Bosley is your 1 to 8. Looking for a 59 low to get automatic qualification on the senior team for South Korea in July. And only person who's been in that ballpark really is Georgia Davis. Couldn't find a bit from her swim this morning. But so too has Jessica Fuller-Love. And they're capable of doing it because it's not a massive improvement required. Final of the open 100 meters backstroke final. On paper, it looks like being a straight head-to-head between Jessica Fuller-Love and Georgia Davis, but Kathleen Dawson will have something to say about that, I imagine, in lane number 6, and Cassie Wilde, University of Stirling, has got off to a very good start in lane 3, but look at the start from Georgia Davis, all that down to all the work she's doing with James Gibson in Turkey, I think.
Yeah, Georgia's always got really lovely underwater. We were saying this morning how Georgia's always one of those kind of real reliable swimmers that, you know, if she's on the team, she'll always put in a great performance and deliver for everyone. Obviously, she does an excellent 50 metres backstroke as well, so we know she's got the speed. It's how much she's got left over that last 25 metres now to kind of sneak down under that minute mark.
And she'll want to be pushed by Jessica Fuller-Love, it is, but Georgia Davis has still got half a body length to a body length clear of everybody else. Looking for an outside smoker. Lily Bosley's having a good swim for City of Sheffield, but this is all about Georgia Davis against the clock here. The wall is appearing. What time can she clock? It's going to be over the minute. It's going to be 1:00:31, which she will be pleased with for a personal point of view in terms of qualification for the Worlds. Not quite good enough, but 1:00:31 is none too shabby. Jessica Fuller-Love 1:00:84. Kathleen Dawson for University of Stirling in third with a 1:01:12. What do you read into that view? That she's looking back at the clock, thinking maybe what might have been?
I thought it was going to be under that minute mark. It's kind of one of those that she kind of have to take it as an athlete. It's not terrible, is it? But at the same time, I think Georgia will have wanted to sneak under that minute mark. She has done it before, so she knows she's capable of it. And obviously, when you put in so much hours and dedication as much as these guys are, the blood, sweat and tears, that she'll be wanting that all to pay off, and she'll be disappointed to not make that qualification. But like I said, she's still got the opportunity to qualify on that relay.
So 1:00:31. So about half a second between her and Jessica Fuller-Love. Kathleen Dawson of University of Stirling in third, and Cassie Wilde of Stirling in fourth place. And Lauren Cox were 1:02:39. So yeah, I think Adam called it quite right, actually. She did go slower tonight, but it's all part of the learning curve for the 17-year-old from Coventry, and she will return bigger and better, I'm sure, next year. We will hear from our champion of the 100 backstroke in just a few moments' time. Reminding you, we've still got the men's equivalent race to come and the 200 breaststroke for women. But let's hear from Georgia Davis now with John Mason.
Georgia, I know British champion, of course, title get, but aiming for times. How are you feeling after that performance?
I'm really disappointed with that time. I'm obviously very pleased to become British champion. That's always nice to win, but I'm always chasing times and I'm trying to improve myself. And I set the bar so high for myself, and that time just isn't anywhere near what I was aiming for tonight. And I obviously really want to qualify for the World Championships, and I'm definitely not within the consideration time there. So I'm absolutely devastated.
Well, looking forward after, you know, your performance tonight, how are you going to be moving that on and moving forward, sort of progression?
To be honest, I'm going to have to speak with my coach and see what he's got to say about it, because my training block's been really good. So I definitely had high expectations, and I think they were quite realistic as well. So I'm not quite sure what happened, and yeah, I'll have to watch the race back and try and work that out and then improve on that going forward.
How did the race feel? I mean, it looked like you looked strong. You went out pretty quick. I mean, you're obviously disappointed. How did the race feel?
It felt good. I'm actually shocked at the time when I saw the scoreboard. I was a bit gobsmacked and not in a good way. So, like I said, I don't know what I did wrong, and you know, I'm going to have to watch it back and try and work that out and try and correct that in training, but I can't put my finger on it just at the moment.
Take a breath and obviously see where we go from here. But look, congratulations though on British champion. Always a wonderful title to get. You are our best of British, so we are going to get you up on our board, and well done. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Georgia Davis.
Thank you, thanks very much.
Yeah, very honest, very upfront, as she always is, Georgia. And you could just see when she finished the race, and it was a kind of bemused look when she looked at the scoreboard going, is that really the time? It actually felt a bit better than that.
It looked really strong
the timing
as well.
device doesn't lie, does it? And will she be thinking to herself, well, maybe there's a little bit left in the tank now, I should have gone for it harder?
Well, she went out really, really strong. She looked good. It's kind of, I like hearing that. As much as I want Georgia to come out that pool feeling really happy and kind of satisfied, at the same time, it's nice to hear that she is human. She is disappointed by that. She's obviously put a lot of hard work in. She's obviously had a lot of higher expectations. Who knows? It could just be that final bit of preparation. Maybe she got a taper slightly wrong. Maybe she just kind of forced that last 50 metres a little bit too much, because to us it looked really strong as well. And I definitely thought she was on track for under that minute mark as well. But like you said, the times don't lie.
And that's one of those things that occasionally you do feel good in the pool and you're going along and thinking, oh, I'll look around and be a 59 low, and you're going, didn't even break the 60?
Yeah.
How come? You know, it wasn't like she had a bad finish or anything, she didn't glide in.
No, it just sometimes happens, and it's just one of those that you've kind of got to learn from and take away. And I really hope that they can get a team for that relay so she is able to go. As I'd love to see Georgia on that. And obviously she could be there as a wild card as well, because like we've been saying, she's very reliable, Georgia is. So hopefully she will get picked next week.
She's a big-time operator, as we saw at the Commonwealth Games last year.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully she could be one of those 8 wild card spots as well.
On to the junior version of the 100 backstroke. And I know I keep banging this drum, but I'll keep doing it. We need somebody in the 53s. It's not going to happen in the junior final. Probably won't happen in the transitional final. But I'm really hoping that we'll get somebody who could maybe break through that 54 barrier in the men's open race later on, because we need a 53er to do the medley relay next year. Nothing short. Everything else is right on course. PT Guy and Scott all looking good. Just need that last piece of the jigsaw. Well, where's the 2024 equivalent going to come from? Here somewhere, we hope. Cameron Brooker of Wickham in 1, Samuel Perks of Plymouth in 2, Alexander Armstrong of Guildford 3, Alex Mason, Mount Kelly 4, Jacob Davis of City of Birmingham 5, Harvey Jones, Stockport Metro in 6, Oliver Fairman of Poole in 7, another Poole finalists, and Falkirk have Keir Edgar in lane 8. Now separate these ones out if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all going to go to the wall pretty much together. I think we've only semi-dropped Samuel Perks. What is the distance between them? Half a second between first and 7th.
I'll let you call this one, Bob.
Yeah, this is going to be tight as a drum, this one. No doubt about that. 4 and 5, Alex Mason, Jacob Davis looking strong. Lane 8, Keir Edgar looking very strong for Falkirk as well. The winner could come from 8, could come from 5, could come from 4, could come from 7. It's going to come from 5 or 4, I think. Either Jacob Davis or Alex Mason. They go to the wall together, and we have a winner. It is Mount Kelly's Alex Mason with a 57.05, but there's nothing separating the top 3. In fact, in the end, there was 12 100ths between 1 and 3, and only 1 100th between Alex Mason and Jacob Davis. 57.05 plays 57.06. Armstrong 57.17. In fact, the top 4 separated by less than a third of a second. That's how tight that race was.
That was very, very close. Great swim from them guys.
And Alex Mason doing a personal best. Jacob Davis doing a personal best. Alexander Armstrong doing a personal best. Top 3 all heading in the right direction with new personal bests. In Alexander Armstrong's case, half a second better than he's ever been before.
Should mention as well, Jacob Davis from Birmingham, that this morning we were saying that Birmingham doesn't have a 50-metre pool. Well, there is a 50-metre pool. They have been training there for 2 years. One of their coaches pulled me aside and was like, we have got a lovely pool. But obviously, I think, like we said earlier, there isn't enough 50-metre pools in the country. So the fact that Birmingham are getting a brand new facility for the Commonwealth Games is incredible.
They're using a university pool, is that right? So it's one that they use, but it's not actually theirs, if you know what I mean. It's
still in Birmingham.
Yeah, certainly they'll have another one when the new Commonwealth Games pool is built as well. But yeah, just good to kind of tidy that one up in respect of they do have a facility, but it's not theirs. They kind of use it, if you know what I mean. It's a kind of a lease arrangement, a kind of hiring arrangement that they have for that. But
still a pool in Birmingham.
Trying to dig out of a hole, trying to dig myself out of a hole here. But anyway, they are doing the job, and they're getting the job done, and there's another personal best for one of their swimmers there. Now, the men's transitional 100 meters backstroke final. We have a change in the lineup from the one I was given originally. Scott Gibson now is in lane 1 for Edinburgh. 2 is Liam White, Swansea, Thomas Howdell. Well, we saw what he could do in the 50 last night. Let's see what he can do in the 100 tonight. Did do a personal best in the heats this morning. Barry Gardner of University of Stirling in 4. James McFadden of Loughborough in 5. Charlie Brown in 6. Joseph Small, Swansea University in 7 by Charlie Brown of City of Sheffield, and Harry Noble of Mount Kelly in 8. Now, this could be another race that's a blanket finish because, again, there's no kind of clear favourite in terms of their personal best. Barry Gardner is the only sub... No, he's not, actually. Liam White's done a sub 56. And both of them should be in the mix, but there's plenty of others who'll be knocking on the door as well. Really quick start from Liam White into, in fact, all of them going around about 0.58, 0.59. Thomas Howdell of Stockport Metro with that personal best this morning of 56.19. Looking for a chance to show what he can do over the longer distance, and going into the wall first is going to be Charlie Brown of Sheffield, Barry Gardner in 2nd, James McFadden in 3rd, Joseph Small in 3rd place. Top of the picture, Charlie Brown is having an exceptional swim here for the City of Sheffield, entered in on 56.22. That was his personal best this morning. But you know what? How strong is Charlie Brown looking at the moment in lane number 6? If he can keep this going and not get too close to the lane rope, he's got this race won. They're not going to catch him, I don't think. He's still got enough to take to the wall by about half a body length. That is a terrific swim. Take your hat off to Charlie Brown. That is a terrific swim by the City of Sheffield man. 55.42. That's a massive improvement in, well, twice in a day, going down to 56.22 this morning, 55.42 tonight. James McFadden in 2nd place for Loughborough, and 3rd place Thomas Howell. But that was how to swim 100 backstroke and just dominate. There was a touch of the Liam Tancock's about that for me.
Well, that was even more impressive because that was a World and European Junior qualification as well. The time was a 55.46, so he just sneaked under there with that 55.42. So congratulations to him, as he's got a spot on that team.
That's terrific. You kind of wonder why he wasn't in the open final, don't you now? You go, well, if you can swim like that, you should have been in the next final, but it doesn't matter when they come, does it?
He's one of those that you were saying earlier, Bob, that this is one of those people that you take note of, possibly next year for Tokyo, but because he is so young, for Paris in 4 years.
Mightily impressed with that. Charlie Brown, well done. 17 years of age from Sheffield, 55.42. I took my breath away. That wasn't expected that it'd be quite as good as that.
Breathe, Bob, breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try. Nicholas Pyle of Newcastle, so part of the 4x1 medley relay team that won gold here at the Europeans back in August. Elliot Clark, who was in Loughborough for a bit, back in Sheffield now with Mike Taylor in lane 7. Xavier Castelli, by the way, was also introduced from Cardiff. In 2 from the University of Stirling, have plenty of representatives in finals tonight. Martin Walton, best time of 55.34. Wasn't too far shy of that this morning at a 55.42. Here's Craig McNally of University of Stirling. Now watch out for the next likely lad who comes out onto pool deck, because he was looking mighty sharp this morning. It's Litchfield Jr. Joe Litchfield with brother down at Loughborough. Maxwell we'll see later in the week in the 200 and the 400 IM. And 5, Brodie Williams and Luke Greenbank. Well, I was asking that question. I've asked the question several times. Who is the potential 53 swimmer amongst this mix? Now, if it happens today, I could die a happy man, because I wanted to ask that question.
I don't want you to do that either.
I wanted to ask that question ever again. If we get somebody in the 53s, I'll be happy.
Yeah, well,
Luke's at a 54.15. He did it this morning.
He looked very good. If he can improve on that, I'm sure he'll be wanting to sneak under that 54 mark as well. But it's how quickly you can recover from today. It's kind of a hard ask. I don't know whether it's a case of that we've all put too much pressure on him now. I kind of want to go, it's okay, Luke, it's fine.
Yeah, well, obviously you'll have had a long chat with Mel Marshall, his coach, and Dave Hebbings will have had a long chat with Joe Litchfield, who he coaches at Loughborough in 3 and 4. But yeah, I'm really excited by what we saw from Luke this morning. And of course, Nick Pyle is in the outside lane. Won't have any idea what's happening in the centre lanes. Will be able to swim his own race, and that might be beneficial as well.
Let's hope so.
He's in 1. Martin Walton 2. Joe Litchfield in 3. Luke Greenbank 4. Brodie Williams 5. Craig McNally, Elliot Clogg, Xavier Castelli. It's the final I've been looking forward to most tonight, because I think there's all kinds of possibilities, all kinds of outcomes as well, depending on who really wants this the most. Luke Greenbank wants it. So too does Joe Litchfield. Look at Joe Litchfield go off the start here, and he's the early leader, but being tracked all the way by Greenbank. At the top of your picture, Elliot Clogg of City of Sheffield, his teammate also going through, his former teammate, I should say, at the top of the picture. So at the moment, it is Luke Greenbank, 26.42, 26.52 for Elliot Clogg, Brodie Williams. Nick Pyle has some work to do in lane number 1. Now, come on, Luke Greenbank. There's a 53 in there, and you know it. Go for it. This could be the moment. Elliot Clogg in 7th having a good swim, but it's all about Luke Greenbank, who's going to win this. The question is, can he go faster than 54.15? It's what he did this morning. Come on, come on, come on! Oh, yes! Yes, 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 we have a 53. Luke Greenbank has done it.
You can die a happy man.
I certainly can. 53.92. My prayers are answered. We've got one at last. Luke Greenbank has gone sub-54. It's a new personal best, 2 personal bests in a day. Joe Litchfield has taken his time down from the 55s to the 54s, and Nick Pyle finished strongly but gave himself too much to do in the end at 54.82. We're probably looking there at our backstroke medley relay swimmer for the summer.
Yeah, definitely. It's a shame, obviously, they didn't quite kind of make that qualification time for the World Championships, but at the same time, Luke should 100% be going for that medley relay. So very, very exciting for him. I'm really pleased for him. It's a good swim from Nick as well. It's really solid that he's kind of qualified. Not the best this morning and been able to move it on for tonight, but just a little bit outside of what he's capable of. He's probably going to go back to the drawing board ahead of next year, but fantastic for Luke.
Absolutely tremendous. I was looking forward to that race more than anything else tonight, and I think as I say, my prayers are answered, and all the expectations I had of that final have very much been visited on us. So let's hear from our new British champion and our 53 merchant, Luke Greenbank, is with John.
Ladies and gentlemen, new British champion, 53.92, biggest smile of the night. I love that. Luke Greenbank.
Thank you very much.
Mate?
Yeah, really pleased with that, to get under 54. That was the aim. So, yeah, well chuffed with that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. When I was commentating, I was like, I'm sure he wants to go 53, but I'm sure he does. But, I mean, it's so important because we know that backstroke spot is kind of open. We keep talking about this medley relay for next year.
Yeah.
Huge potential.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big aim for me. A lot of my training's been focused around the 200, but I know that'll help my 100 along as well. So yeah, it's definitely a big aim.
I'm going to have to mention this as well because I've got a bit of a beard and a bit of a hairy chest as well, and I had to shave down, you see, and get the blades out. Noticed a few days ago you had this hairy chest, this big beard. Does it make a big difference to get that hair off and get in the pool?
Yeah. It took me a while to shave down yesterday with the beard and the chest and all that. But yeah, it definitely makes a difference, and when you get in, you just feel so much better. So. And
it must give you loads of confidence as well, like to do that time, to know that you're swimming on personal best times. You've got the 200 later in the week. Got to give you loads of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I think that always helps with the 200 to get a good 100 under my belt. So yeah, really pleased with that.
Well, massive good luck, mate. Massive good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
It. Two backstrokers here having a good old chat. I love that. Well done, mate. It was such a killer swim. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our new British champion, Luke Greenbank.
Thank you.
Gotta say, two backstrokers talking to each other. It's not quite as boring as two breaststrokers talking to each other, but it's pretty close.
Oh no, I'm really pleased for Luke there. That was such a lovely kind of interview because you could just see how happy he is. He burst on the scene a couple of years ago, and since then just been trying to get all those little elements right and kind of training down there obviously with Adam Peaty and under Mel Marshall. It's obviously doing him really, really good there, and I'm very excited for his 200 metres backstroke.
Well, there's a young man, and he is still a young man, who had a weight of expectation on his shoulders because of what he did at junior level, and everybody expects you to automatically convert what you do at junior level to senior level, and if it was that easy, everybody would do it, but not everybody does do it.
Yeah, and everyone grows and kind of peaks at different times, and the thing is that Luke is a very, very tall guy anyway, but it takes a while for the power and the strength to catch up and to get that kind of solid bit of work under your belt as well. So hopefully it's timed it to perfection to peak at the Worlds and Olympics next year.
Good. I don't want to get greedy now. We're going to the 53s, 53.5 maybe, 53.4.
Steady on, Bob.
Yeah.
Let's take one step at a time.
It will come, but well, that's an important step as far as I'm concerned, heading massively in the right direction. We're going to calm down now. 200 breaststroke for women. A junior version of it. Hermione Rowe, Stockport in 1. Olivia Heron, a Stockport in 2. Ellie Sibbald Perkins of the City of Birmingham with their 50-metre pool. 4 is Maya Hall of Ellesmere College. 5, Yvonne Brown of East Kilbride. City of Peterborough with Amelia Morn. 3 Stockport Metro swimmers in this one. Caitlin Lansom is the third of them in 7. And Molly Monk of Dearman District goes in lane number 8. Junior-wise, what are we looking at here, please, Rebecca Edmonton?
The time is a very tough one. It's a 2:36.5. So these girls are kind of looking at their personal best time. We've had a 1:32, but it is a bit out of reach, but never say never.
Well, we have 4 swimmers in this field who've done that time.
No, 2:30.6.
Oh, 2:30, not 2:36.
No, 2:30.6.
Right, okay.
Sorry if I said that wrong.
You did. You said 2:36.
Sorry, 2:30.6.
Right, that's good. So we have a couple knocking on the door of that, though. Amelia Morn's been in the 2:32s. Yvonne Brown, 2:33. Maya Hall, 2:33. So it's not a leap of faith to think they could get within range of it anyway. As we look to see Ellie Sibbald Perkins of City of Birmingham trying to work her way through, but Maya Hall is a fair way in front of her from Ellesmere College in 4. Yvonne Brown going with her in 5, and in 6 is Amelia Morn. They're pretty much all in a line as we get towards the halfway stage of the 200 breaststroke. And just looking on the nod, probably will be forward. No, just Yvonne Brown of East Kilbride. Always difficult on breaststroke to quite get the touch because they're nodding as they go in sometimes. Ellesmere College in 2nd place with Maya Hall, and 3rd place is Olivia Heron. But as we've so often seen in the 200 breaststroke, the second half of the race takes on a different complexion altogether.
Yeah, it really does. And some of these girls, they'll be able to see at the turn, looking around who is where, so they'll be all wanting to push it and get their hand on the wall first.
So Olivia Heron's in there. So too is Maya Hall, Yvonne Brown, Amelia Morn, all very much in the mix. There's probably about 5 of them still with a possibility of winning this race. Winning it at the moment with 50 to go is Yvonne Brown of East Kilbride. 2nd place, Amelia Morn of City of Peterborough. And 3rd place from Ellesmere College is Maya Hall. But it's going to change again, I think. Lane 6, Amelia Morn has got really good back-end speed here and is working her way through, but not as good as Maya Hall of Ellesmere, who are having a fantastic week. 4 and 6 pretty much locked together here as they come into the conclusion, and not giving up yet is Yvonne Brown of East Kilbride. 3 of them going inside the final 15. I think it's going to go to Maya Hall on this little echelon. It is going to be Maya Hall of Ellesmere College with a 2:34. Well, it's a little bit outside what she has done this year, and so you're nowhere near that junior qualification time, but again, she gets the win and beats Amelia Morn into 2nd place, 3rd place going to Yvonne Brown. That's the outcome. We'll wait for, obviously, clarification, make sure there's no DQs. But it is now given as the confirmed result. 2:34.69 winning time for Maya Hall. Amelia Morn in 2nd, and Yvonne Brown with the 2:35.58 in 3rd place. Any more juniors to come?
Yes, we've got 3 juniors in this transition final, coming from lane 3, 6 and 8. So it's not totally unheard of, especially from Charlotte Rigg, who is going in lane 3 from Birmingham. Her personal best is actually quicker than the qualifying time. So if she can do a personal best, or even on her personal best tonight, then she will get that qualification time. So lane 3, 6 and 8 looking out for that European juniors and world juniors.
Yeah, indeed. Annabelle Guy Johnson, Edinburgh University in 1, Neem Robinson and Mount Kelly in 2. Well, the 3 juniors we mentioned. Charlotte Rigg of City of Birmingham, Carl Grosvenor's Charge in 3, Katie Robertson of South Ayrshire in 4, fastest qualifier in this field for the transitional final. 5 is Megan Morrison of Loughborough, Winchester City. Kayla van der Merwe, trained by Zoe Baker, who was more a 50 and 100 specialist. Didn't really ever do 200, did she? But she knew about breaststroke.
She does know about breaststroke.
Cara Hanlon of Edinburgh University in 7. Actually, I haven't seen her around pool deck. Have you seen Zoe?
I have, yes.
Okay, I haven't. 7 is Cara Hanlon, and 8 is Rebecca Kleins of the City of Leeds. Did the season's best this morning with a 2:33. So that time, again, required is 2:30.6 to make the junior team for the Worlds and Europeans later on in the year. All the way pretty similar, apart from Cara Hanlon got a slightly quicker start than everybody else in this end with over 200. Doesn't really make a great deal of difference, but Neem Robinson is taking advantage of a pretty decent start herself to take the early lead. Up in 5, Megan Morrison looking strong for Loughborough, as is Kayla van der Merwe of Winchester City. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them dropped anybody really yet. Annabelle Guy Johnson maybe just a little bit behind, but not by a great deal. So it's going to be lane 6, Kayla van der Merwe of Winchester, who turns in 33.28. Megan Morrison of Loughborough in 2nd place, Charlotte Rigg in 3rd. Now, who's got the best second 50 here? Not really breaking open this field at all, though to a certain extent, Kayla van der Merwe is starting to just edge away ahead of 2 or 3 of them who were in the mix at 50. And looks like she may well be leading at 100 as we come into the last 15 meters of this part of the 200 breaststroke with 100 to go. It is going to be the Winchester City swimmer in first place, 1:10.78. The gap is about 3/4 of a second to Charlotte Rigg in 2nd, Megan Morrison in 3rd, and Cara Hanlon. Question is now, can Kayla van der Merwe hold on to this lead?
The juniors are going for it, aren't they? They know that time is there. They know they want to book their spot on those junior teams, so they're really giving it their all. It's kind of hard because they won't see each other at all, so it's just about who's got that enough down that last 50 metres, because they're just going to want to swim their absolute best, but they're really coming through here, and no signs of Kayla slowing down.
Charlotte Rigg is looking strong. Not quite as strong, though, at the moment as Kayla van der Merwe, who will hold on to first place. Charlotte Rigg is 2nd. 3rd is Cara Hanlon. We're looking for them to just break open that seal on the 2:30.6 as they possibly can, and it's in range for Kayla van der Merwe. What an achievement it would be for Winchester City to get a swimmer on the World Junior team. She can do it. She knows she can do it, and she's gone all out to try and do it. Has Kayla van der Merwe of Winchester City, best time of 2:32.08. Now, here comes the difficult part. Can she get her finish right? Can she get into the wall correctly? Can she come in and do the time that we and everybody else is looking for? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's good. That's very good. 2:28.51. That is a league in which she has not been before. 2:32 down to a 2:28. And I don't know where she is, but Zoe Baker will be doing cartwheels right now, because that is an exceptional performance. Charlotte Rigg in 2nd place goes sub 2:30 as well, and 3rd place is Cara Hanlon. Wow, will she believe that? 2:28.5?
That is brilliant. From the 2 junior girls being in that transitional final, to win that, to beat the senior girls that are in that race, to get 2 girls on the juniors team as well is just fantastic. So what brilliant performances. They swam that so well. They look so strong. I think all of their coaches are going to be very happy with that one.
How long ago was we were bemoaning the state of women's 200 breaststroke in this country? For quite a long time we did. really saying, come on, we need somebody to get on the world stage and do a 2:22, 2:23. They're not there yet, but they're not far away in junior terms. They're moving inexorably towards it.
Well, now we've got kind of the ones that we've been talking about for many years with Molly, with Katie Matz, with Jocelyn as well, kind of getting back onto that scene, not discounting Abby Wood as well. She had a really strong heat this morning, had a great 400 IM yesterday, so these girls will be wanting to post that time. The first consideration, well, the first qualifying time is a 2:22.22, as you said. It's very, very tough because that is the British record, and the consideration time is a 2:23.95. So they'll be kind of setting their sights on that. They have got a little bit to drop, but it's not out of reach, and it's certainly been done before by a couple of these girls. So 2:23.95 will get them that spot on that World Championships team.
We have the British record holder with that 2:22.08. That is Jocelyn Elliott, will be in lane 6. There is Rosanna Arnold of Guildford in lane 2. Here is the British record holder from Loughborough, Jocelyn Elliott, with a 2:28.33 this morning. So she's been considerably quicker than that, but she has had her injury problems over the last year or so.
Yeah, no, she has over the past couple of years, but she swam a really good solid 50 yesterday. Obviously, she's got a great coach in Ian Hume as well, who's kind of really worked with her closely and is kind of getting her back on form. This year might be just kind of one of those progression years, trying to get her back to full health. But for her, she'll be wanting to put in a good performance against Molly tonight, seeing how them two can battle it out, and then all eyes on Tokyo next year.
Molly Renshaw looked very, very good this morning. Very good indeed. Her personal best is in the 2:22s as well.
Yeah, we saw Katie Matz take it out slightly harder, whereas Molly kind of had a slower split at the 100, but really came back strong. Molly always works that back end of her race, so don't kind of rule her out if she's not winning at 100 to go.
Well, we talked about how good the men's 100 back is. Maybe the women's 200 breasts will surpass that and usurp it. We'll see. Tough qualifications, as they all are, for the World Championships in South Korea later on this year. 2:22.22 the first time, 2:23.95 the secondary consideration time. So got to be in the 2:22 range, which both Molly Renshaw and Jocelyn Elliott have been before, but they're not quite there yet. It's a good time to do it. Lily Booker, Millfield in 1, Rosanna Arnold of Guildford in 2, Katie Matz, Stockport 3, Molly Renshaw of Loughborough in 4, also trained by Dave Hemmings is Abby Wood in 5, Jocelyn Elliott, trained by Ian Hume in 6, Georgia Coates of Bath in 7, Hannah Miley, she keeps making those files. She may not be 100% or recovering from problems last year, but she's still making finals, and she is in lane 8. But I think the main protagonists will come from those center lanes: Katie Matz, Molly Renshaw, Abby Wood, and also Jocelyn Elliott. 3, 4, 5, and 6 where we should pay attention to. Katie Matz taking it out early.
Yeah, Katie's got that kind of natural ability and that natural speed a little bit more than Molly. Molly is so long and smooth. I love watching Molly race. It just looks effortless. It doesn't look like she's trying. You almost get a bit like, come on, Molly, work. But we know
Put some more effort in.
We know
with elbow grease.
Yeah, we know she is though, and that she's a really tough racer. She's always, again, she's always there or thereabouts as well. She's a very reliable person to have on that team. So I'd love to see her get the results that she wants and getting on that podium.
No, Molly is just in front, but I tell you who, Jocelyn Elliott's just upping her stroke rating, going a little bit quick. Katie Matz has got second, but there's only a second between 1, 2, and 3. And maybe this is going to be Molly Renshaw's race after all. Katie Matz is trying to go with her. Jocelyn Elliott had a very good second 50. Not quite so good now. It looks like being a straight head-to-head, straight shootout between Katie Matz and Molly Renshaw. And Renshaw has about a body length advantage over the Stockport Metro swimmer. Abby Wood's trying to come back. Jocelyn Elliott's trying to come back. It might be a bit tighter than it looks right now at the end, but Molly Renshaw has 50 to go. She'll split at 1:46.14. Is she on course?
It's such a hard one to judge because it is all about that last 50 metres. Molly's really taken a good chunk out of the rest of the field really on that turn. She had a fantastic finish. So Molly doesn't tend to die off, so I'd be surprised if she did. So hopefully the crowd here can carry her through. It's going to be close.
It is going to be close. Keep an eye on her. Keep an eye on the clock. 2:22.22 is what we want. It's going to be very, very close. There won't be much in it. Molly Renshaw giving every nerve, every sinew to get there. 2:22 is coming and going. 2:23.42 for Molly Renshaw. It's still very, very quick. And I will be amazed if she's not on that World Championship team with that time. Katie Matt in second. She'll be thrilled with that as well, with around about a season's best 2:25.58, and third place to Jocelyn Elliott. But Molly Renshaw could have not given much more in that swim, getting within. Oh, she looks at the clock. Look at that. That tells you everything. Again, she probably felt really good. I probably thought it was a 2:22. And the scoreboard cannot be your best friend at times.
Hey, she still made the consideration time. It's very, very unlikely if you make that consideration time that you won't be going.
Yeah.
So she has. We haven't seen many people. I think only Adam so far has got that first qualifying time. So for her, she kind of knows that she's booked her spot on that team. She's going to be more than happy to get under that consideration time. She was 0.5 under the consideration time as well. Yes, it might not have been the 22s, but at this time of year to be posting that sort of time, she's going to be fairly pleased with that.
Well, we'll find out what she's got to say in a few moments. So she's got a kind of bemused look about it, like, yeah, that's actually quite good, but it ain't quite good enough from her point of view, because she went out there knowing exactly what she needs to do to stop any ambiguity for the World Championships, and she isn't quite, well, that's what I said. That's how I called it when she finished. She's going to go with that time. I don't think there's any doubt about it. 2:23.42. She'll be on that plane to South Korea, but she doesn't know that for definite yet, and that has to be rubber stamped in the future. So there's still that uncertainty, but she should be happy. Should be happy with that. Our champion, Molly Renshaw, now talking with John Mason.
There you have it. What a way to finish off our night. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our new British champion. Molly, consideration time as well. What a way to finish your night here.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked much more, really. I know my training's been going so well, and I kind of just wanted to come here and post a good time and try and get on the team, so I'll have to wait now and see.
And such a powerful breaststroke as well. Like, you look so relaxed, you look so smooth in the water. It's kind of like a great advert for the young kids who spin their breaststroke too much. You don't want to do that, do you?
No, and I think my type of swimming is quite old school. I think a lot of people are trying to change the way they do it. But yeah, it works for me, and yeah, I'm going to keep doing it.
I want to just talk a little bit about your pacing, because you led from start to finish. I mean, is that something that you like to do? You like to be at the front, you like to be at the front of the race and, like, take command of, the whole situation?
Yeah, I think the past few years I've kind of lost my confidence going out fast. In Rio, I went out in a 68, and I've kind of been nowhere near that since. So I'm just trying to get my confidence back going out fast and seeing if I can hold on the last 100.
And you did. I mean, it was, as I said, final fantastic back into that race. What's next for you now? Got this one, moving forward, what are we looking for?
I've got the 100 at the end of the week. I'm actually really looking forward to that. It's usually an event that I'm not that great at, but we've been working so hard on my speed, and it's been feeling so much better than I've had, so I'm really looking forward to Sunday.
Well, I can't wait to see you race it. Last day of the meet.
Massive good luck.
Yeah, look, congratulations once again, our final British champion of the night, and making that consideration time. Awesome to see that. We're going to get you up here on our wall now, the best of British. Ladies and gentlemen, one last time, give it up for Molly Renshaw.
Yeah, certainly do, because that was a very gutsy way to swim it. While she didn't get the first consideration time, she gets the second. We will be absolutely, totally, utterly gobsmacked if she does not make that World Championship team. I think she's as good as there with that time. We'd have to have an awful lot of amazing performances over the next 4 days for her not to make that team.
Yeah, well, they've got 30 spots on the team, and we've only seen Adam so far get that first qualifying time that he needs to book his place. Obviously, day 2 finished now, so we've got 4 more days left, so there will be more added to that, but with 30 spots on the team, there's 8 wild cards thrown in there as well, so it's pretty confident to say that Molly's going to Worlds.
I think so. As we get into our last run of presentations of the medals. And we're on to the 200 butterfly first, which was a good competitive event. James Guy not wanting to be headed by anybody. He took it out strong, finished strong, and really, the last few meters was feeling rather uncomfortable, to say the least. But Jacob Peters, not quite backing up what he did this morning, but still going sub-2 again tonight with a 1:59.14, and he is a big talent, 19 years of age for a pool. Duncan Scott, well, as we know, he can turn his hand to pretty much everything. When your car mended, he can probably do that for you as well. Second place for University of Stirling. And in the end, only just about half a second behind James Guy. Silver for him. Obviously, his big event will be the 100 freestyle later in the week, and indeed the 200 as well, where him and James Guy will go head-to-head again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing Duncan Scott's freestyle. I always love his finish and that windmill arm stroke that he does, whereas for James, it was really nice to hear from James, actually, with the interview with John and James earlier, saying that he is concentrating on freestyle, because we had to ask ourselves, what is his main event? What does he focus on? So the fact that we now know he is concentrating on that front crawl, even though he's very, very clearly very good at the butterfly, he'll be wanting to book his spot on that team as well for the World Champs.
Now, he was trying to convince everybody on Instagram last night that when he took his beard off, it made him look 17.
Oh,
I said in your dreams.
Oh no, it does.
It made you look 17.
It shaves about 10 years off him. Did you see that beard?
Yeah, I saw the beard, but he is 24. I don't think he could claim. Certainly, you're not going to be asked for ID when you go into pubs. Put it that way.
I think he does. I think he looks, well, old teens. Yeah, maybe not 17. Nearer the 19-20 mark.
I looked at it. I thought, you're kidding yourself. Even in the lighting, which you made look as positive from that point of view as you possibly could, I don't think you'd ever pass for 17.
Is that why you shave, Bob, and you don't have a beard?
No, I don't. Yeah. Amazingly, not being the most macho person, I do shave every day. My legs mainly, but.
Oh, Bob.
200 fly is what we've just seen, and we'll move on to the 100 backstroke for women. And first of all, the women's event. And Kathleen Dawson with a 61.12 in third place. A really good race where top two were only separated by half a second. And taking second place on this occasion, Jessica Fullerlove of Bath. And as we heard in her interview earlier on, Georgia Davis really thought and really believed that she could go sub 60 and got within a smidgen of it. But 60.31 was not good enough to get the qualifying time for the Worlds. But again, one of those I'm sure will be very much under consideration, because she is a big occasion performer, and they know that. So rarely does she let anybody down.
Yeah, well, to be honest, none of them three girls look massively pleased. So it's probably just one of those that I think, because when you feel good and when you think, hold on, nothing went wrong, so why hasn't the times all added up? And I really felt for Georgia there. She's just such a brilliant athlete, and like we've been saying, all of today, she is one of those reliable athletes. So hopefully for the relay, as well as being one of those wild cards, because it would be lovely to see Georgia make that World Championships team. And we know that she'll deliver when it gets there as well.
And she knows at 29, she has one more Olympics in her, really. She's not going to go beyond Tokyo next year.
No, probably not, with obviously the 50 backstroke not being an Olympic event for her. So it's one of those that she wants to maximise that. And like she said as well, that her training's been going so well. And obviously she put that expectation on her, so maybe she just put a tiny bit too much pressure on herself. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy, aren't you? And you just get a little bit too nervous and everything like that. So her and her coach, James Gibson, will go back to the drawing board and work it all out and try and put it right when she's kind of watched that race back.
Ceremony for the 100 backstroke, and I'm just trying to compute here. You know better than me. Is that an age group record at 18 for Nick Pyle? We've added a bit of extra information in there. 54.82. It's got a...
Must be.
Yeah. Age group record for Nick Pyle. 54.82. So he should be happy with that. He certainly, yeah, new age group record for Nick Pyle.
Well done, Nick.
And to be honest, he didn't have the best of starts at 50. He wasn't actually really, I think he was 5th or 6th at 50. So that was a very strong finish from him. Joe Litchfield backs up what he did this morning. Another personal best, goes sub 55, 54.71. But I called for it last night, I called for it this morning, and I called for it again tonight, and my prayers were answered. We have a sub 54 swimmer in our midst, in our ranks. He is Luke Greenbank, 53.92, and he knows he can bring that down still further, because that could be the difference between Great Britain getting a gold or a silver in Japan next year.
Yeah, for him, obviously, with the 200 back, he openly said himself, is probably his more favoured event, the one that he's better at, but it kind of works well. You put in the hours and you do all that hard work, that if he knows that he's swimming a good 200, that it will work for his 100 as well, and they go hand in hand. So for him, he's still got, obviously, another race to go this week, so it'll be interesting to see what he does there, but for tonight, just kind of that swim for him, I'm just so pleased for him. He's not going to wipe that smile off his face.
I am too,
tonight.
because again, every year go, Luke, you can do this. You know, at junior level you did do it, and he hasn't quite performed to the level I think we anticipated he would. He's come of age here, and that may just spur him on for the 200.
It'll give him great confidence. I think when you know you're swimming well, you take that forward, and it's kind of nice going into another race knowing that you're having a good meet. So I think we might see something special. But again, that time for the World Championships is very tough for men's backstroke. I always think it's one of the hardest of the programme, so I wish him the best of luck for the rest of the week.
Yeah, we do, and so we'll see him in the 200 later on in the week. And talking of 200s, we go to the women's 200 breaststroke, the last medal ceremony of the evening, and that was quite a race. The winner with a really quick time as well. Third place going to Jocelyn Elliott of Loughborough University in a 2:25.7. Gave herself a little bit to do, kind of drifted a little bit in the middle of that race, and I thought she was actually not going to be in the mix at all, and then suddenly kind of found a second or third win and came back into the mix. But she had a great second 50 and then kind of didn't back it up on the third 50, which is kind of strange, but maybe she'll swim it differently next time and get a different result. I don't know. 2:25.5 it was for Katie Matz of Stockport Metro, but the winner by nearly 2 clear seconds, Molly Renshaw with a 2:23.42, and that was spectacular. And as they were pointing out in the studio earlier, James Goddard mentioning she was a front runner. She wanted to take that from the off, didn't want anybody in their slipstream, didn't want to see anybody basically, and just said, right, this is my race and I'm going for it.
Yeah, she's something completely different to this morning, where she kind of took the first 100 easy, but that's what you can do through the heat. She can just kind of play about with it a little bit. It was great to see her kind of posting that consideration time. She's going to be more than happy with that. And like she said, she's really looking forward to the 100, and that 100 is wide open. I think Siobhan Marie O'Connor, the British record holder for that event, is in there as well. So Katie Matz has got really good speed as well. So I think that 100 metres breaststroke is going to be a really good race.
Yeah, lots of very good events to come in the remaining 4 days of competition. That was day 2 pretty much done and dusted with some tremendous performances. The 100 backstroke, excellent. The 200 breast, and of course you saw Adam Peaty do what Adam Peaty does so well and obliterate the field in the 50 breaststroke. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you, Becky. We'll
Thank you, Bob.
do it all over again at 10 o'clock tomorrow. But before we leave you from Toll Cross in Glasgow, from the commentary box, back to the studio and John and James.
There you have it, night 2 done. Jimmy, what a night it was.
Amazing, yeah, and quite a lot of drama tonight, actually.
Yeah?
I mean, the ups and downs. We saw Georgia Davis really kind of upset. And it happens even with the top pros. I mean, I've travelled all around this country, and you see a lot of the juniors, a lot of the 10, 11-year-olds crying on the poolside because they're upset of how bad their swim was. It happens to the pros as well.
Of
and it's
course.
how Georgia bounces back now. She straight away, she said, going to sit down with my coach, watch the race back, see what went wrong, fix it, move on.
Yeah, and I think that's the way you really can tell a pro and tell how, sort of professional they are and how they know their own performances, because she was British champion and still, as we said, wasn't particularly happy with it.
Yep.
A lot of swimmers were, though. Luke Greenbank,
Yep.
cracking night
Yep.
tonight.
Super happy for Luke. Yeah, first time under 54, personal best time, which I don't think he's done in a while. So to go 53 points tonight, you could see how happy he was. Saw him a couple of days ago, had this beard, had this hairy chest, shaved it all off, went 53, personal best. So pleased for him because of that relay team as well. I mean, we've got obviously a superb breaststroker, butterfly, freestyle swimmer. Now the backstroke starting to form as well. Great to see.
And you could sort of see when we spoke to him earlier as well, when he was sort of saying playing the long game. That's what his focus is as well. Next year, that relay team. It's going to be really interesting to see how he develops over the next sort of 12 to 18 months.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I mean, we talk about the relay quite a lot, but Luke's his own swimmer. Yeah. You know, he wants to do the individual as well. He wants to compete on the world stage. So 53.9 is good. I think he's going to want to go 53 low, maybe even scraping a 52. Now we're talking medals. Now we're talking top end.
Yeah, it's going to be as we said, great to see. But of course, the action is not over. We're going to be back here once again tomorrow for day 3 of the British Swimming Championships 2019. Tomorrow night, we kick off finals at 6:30 p.m. Men's 1500 meter freestyle fastest heat. Of course, Dan Jervis back in that. We saw him take the 400 meters yesterday. Very happy, going to be brilliant to see how he does there. The women's 50 meter freestyle finals, always fun to watch. The men's 400 meter IM, we got the women's 200 meter butterfly, and the men's 100 meter freestyle. Blue ribbon event, everyone sort of says that. Are you looking forward to it, James?
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? The last 2 days have been amazing. So impressed with the juniors. Every time I look at the program, PB, personal best, all the time. And that's what I'm looking forward to watch for the rest of this week. Because I know we come here and we talk about the seniors and them qualifying for the World Championships, which is the big prize. But there's European Juniors and World Junior Championships, which are very important stepping stones to make it onto that senior team. So I love watching the juniors, seeing how they go. It's one of my favourite times of my career was doing the junior race. Absolutely, I used to love it. You know, sometimes it's really nerve-wracking to race people. It's almost more nerve-wracking to race people your own age than race the seniors. When I was a junior racing the seniors, I almost had nothing to lose. I could a bit more freedom, a bit more relaxation in your stroke and your technique. So I love watching the juniors, watching how they perform on this top stage. That's what I'm looking forward to this week.
And it's funny you say that. I think it was the women's 100 meter backstroke junior final tonight that I was looking at. I think 6 out of the 8 in that final was either a season's best or a personal best. So I think the coming years, these juniors that as they develop and sort of move up into these senior ranks, the coming years of what's going to be happening here at British Swimming is super exciting. I can't see how it sort of pans out. But thank you so much, Jimmy. Day 2, had a lot of fun with you. As I said, we'll be back here tomorrow for the finals tomorrow night. But tomorrow morning, we are going to be here for heats. So if you want to tune in tomorrow, you can do so. British Swimming website, or of course the YouTube channel. And as we said, kicking off live at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night for the finals. We'll be here at Deep End Live, chat with some swimmers, having a whole lot of fun from 6 p.m. My name's John Mason. This is James Goddard. It's been a whole lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow.